Hey everyone, welcome back to the IWEP Network, or if it's your first time, welcome hanging out with us. Thank you so much for choosing this podcast, and feedback is always welcome. So make sure to check the links below for all social media links, audio and video versions of this show, and merch. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing that feedback, and enjoy the show. And we are here.
That's an abrupt cut.
Hello, everyone.
Actually, let's redo
There
that.
you go.
Let's redo that for the audio. Hey, we're back.
Hello.
This is episode, I believe, 19? 18? 18, 19?
Probably. I think
Episode
it's 19.
2.
Dude, I always
Episode
fucking,
two.
I always
Yeah,
fucking-
for
me,
Nicholas,
I'm episode two.
I wonder if I can.
Two.
At 19, we
It
were
was
one away
supposed
from
to be
20.
3.
One away from 20.
Ooh.
So super excited. Before we get into any of that, I want to let you guys know, check the links below. We did open up a second merch page, but I want to be very, very clear. If you order some merchandise on there, let us know what the quality looks like, because we had someone get ordered a Not Cool in High School shirt. He may be sitting at the table, and the company didn't do a great job with it.
Sometimes the shirts are a little off.
Yeah,
Like it's not, the resolution isn't as good.
yeah,
And it's not your fault. It's just the printer.
exactly. So it's definitely not our logos, because the logos are on Teespring and they come out great.
Yeah.
You know, so it really. So if you get anything, let us know.
I'm curious how the stickers are going to be.
I got stickers
get them in.
of the interviews everyday people,
The stickers are probably fine.
And
It's
they're
probably
great.
just an issue with like
I
putting
like
it
them.
onto a shirt or
and my
something.
IWEP Network shirt came in, and it was great. Now
Really?
the new merch page, that website does a lot of sales, so you can get shirts for like $13. I believe it's still on,
35% off right
yeah,
now.
like 35% off everything
Public.
on the merch thing, and we don't lose our profit on it.
And
But
they came pretty quick,
yeah,
too.
they ship a lot faster than Teespring.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the Teespring shirts, I think, are cooler because it has a front and back design, and it doesn't
Yeah.
cost us anymore to do that, and we get a little more of a profit from Teespring than TeePublic. But TeePublic's a really big site, and a lot of people like to go on there, so it's easier to maybe get exposure. So we're trying it.
Yeah, just
But you
across
can
the board,
get
people
stickers
choose.
cheaper on Teespring or TeePublic, but they're smaller. The ones you get from Teespring are the
The die cut ones.
the die cut ones are huge. You can get magnets through the new site. You can get laptop bags. You can get there's a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
Pins. You can order pins. So if you want to get a couple pins, and they're like $2 each or something like that. Well, I mean, we don't see anything of it because they keep the prices so low. Like, they're set prices, where the Teespring, we can say, hey, we'll sell a T-shirt for $15
Yeah.
and make $1, or we can sell it for $20 and make $3. You know what I mean? One of those type of deals. Where TeePublic is kind of like, you're stuck with that price. But we're
But it's good
trying it.
because they run sales more. So,
Yes.
I mean, $13 a shirt, and that's more digestible
listen,
for people.
it
They
is.
are good quality shirts, though, I will say.
This one's
Yeah.
this is TeePublic. This
Yes,
is nice. But
it's-
I got a Squirrel Girl one, and it was like a print on, and it kind of peeled off.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
So it is out there if you guys want to check it out. It's not so much. I mean, obviously making a couple bucks here and there helps us, because then we can put it towards equipment and making the show better. But it's more or less getting the show's name out there and getting some exposure, and that's always fun.
And you get a cool shirt.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
cool shirt.
Yeah.
Are we still doing that thing with an intro or whatever, where like we're doing all the photos together of people with merch and stuff?
We were
Doing
going to,
posts
but then it
with that?
kind of fell through because I didn't really get anything
Okay.
significant. So maybe we'll start that again.
Well, send us a picture if you buy
I
a
was gonna
shirt.
say, maybe if we get more people.
Son of a
you
bitch.
know.
It's all Nicholas.
You buy a sticker. Hold
Thank
it
you,
up.
thank you for the share, Jen. And also, let's get into our sponsor here. Huge thank you to. This is not the sponsor one. Hold on.
I thought you were like, I can't pronounce
I almost started reading a little brown barrel.
I can't read.
Huge thank you to Abaddon Tattoo Studios, a unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. They provide high-quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed, professional, and sterile environment. You can check the links below or their phone number at 570-345-3511. Heidi, I just got a tattoo recently there. Heidi just got a tattoo recently there. And we also got...
Yeah, how about this?
Yeah, we
Yeah, this
got
is
some.
cool.
And go to their
Oh,
Facebook and look at their art if you're up in the air.
We have now four.
Whoa.
Did
Four...
Did we get a winner?
We
Somebody
do. We do
comment
have a
on
winner on. Yeah, we have 4 $100 gift cards.
Yes.
Ooh.
$100.
$100 off tattoo or piercing. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's just $100 there.
We did one giveaway, and we did it a secret giveaway.
Ooh,
We did it on our Patreon. So it was a first come first serve. Whoever listens to the episode, and we said
like a special. What's the
like a code, and we were drinking a beer called Pineapple Express, and we're saying whoever in the comments first Pineapple Express, you win a $100 gift card.
Wow.
And and the reason we did it first on Patreon is because I feel like a lot of the people on Patreon are people who've been supporting us for a long time, and then they're willing to give the extra money to support us on Patreon. So we wanted to give them a first dib at because this is our first major sponsor.
Yeah,
where someone came in and
$500.
they gave $500 out of their business to help
That's
us.
incredible.
Very kind.
So
And I don't even know these people.
yeah, so it is very. Not a huge shocker who won our first $100 giveaway.
It was
Was
Alexa.
it Jen?
It was Alexa.
Noah.
It was Jen.
Whoever's underage, right?
Jen won the $100 gift card. So Jen, you
Congrats,
won.
Jen.
We love
You won a
Jen.
$100 gift card.
You put that towards a tattoo or get a piercing.
Tony's
or
devil
whatever.
face.
We are doing a giveaway. Yeah, we are doing a giveaway right now on the Banging Beers podcast, and it's for a $10 gift card that we purchased personally from the podcast for the cake stand in Monty City. Oh, cool. So all you have to do is like the page, tag a friend, and share the post. Not too many people are in it, but that's fine. You know, this is the giveaway thing's still kind of new, but we are still
Once
growing.
people hear about free stuff,
Yeah.
they'll get in.
Yeah.
So we are going to start doing it more. I have about 3 or 4 different gift cards to still give away, but we're going to do them each week. We're not going to flood one. Like Bangin' Beers got one. Maybe this show we'll do our gift card for. I'll probably go buy like a $10 gift card from the Emporium store in Shenandoah, or something like that, or like Peace Frog or something.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a giveaway here. But keep an eye out on all the pages. Go follow us on social media, the IWEP network, and all that fun stuff. And we have a lot of we're buying the gift card to support a local business, and then hopefully, you know, we're giving you $10, $15 towards your order, and then you would obviously probably pay more than that because you're getting free money, so you're going to get it's a win-win for the business.
Back,
Yeah.
you know, you go maybe that time you just use the gift card, but then you say I'm gonna go back and get something.
Absolutely, that's our goal. That's our goal for that. So yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff. Thank you for everyone once again for tuning in. Last interview we did on Interviews with Everybody, people did really well. The group pages are blowing up. All of them are doing really well.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Except that
Support.
people that post the wrong video and the wrong thing. I give them the boot now.
Yes. So that is one thing with the.
Don't post a wrestling thing in the page for this show. Because
You don't kick him out of the
I saw
group. We
that.
just
no, well,
you
the
just
one
take-
guy that posted the preacher man in every group, he
Yeah,
got kicked out.
he's gone.
he got the
He got
axe.
kicked out.
He got the axe. So
Should we
too many
discuss
strikes.
the posting of
yes,
bonuses?
yeah. So what we're gonna
Yeah.
do with the group pages now, and this is not like we're trying to limit people and stuff, but for a long time there, I was just like free form. If you're an artist or you're somebody, you're more than welcome to share your content and get eyes on it. But here's the deal: it's one thing when you join it, and I listen. I'm guilty of this as well. When I first started doing my thing, I was doing this on a ton of different group pages, and I was 100% guilty of it. And then I got a couple messages like, "Hey, can you stop doing that? It's kind of rude." And I was like, "What do you mean? I'm just trying. I'm grinding here." And they're like, "No, you're being a dick." And I was like, "Well, explain it." And they're like, we have this group page that has 2,000 people, and these people are engaged. They comment. This is like their place to come and hang out. And then you're just trying to spam it with your nonsense, and you don't really care about our group. You're just here to drop and go.
A commercial, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree with that. So for
You're
people
right.
for people who
You're
are
right.
more engaged and they participate in what we're about and they check it out, then yeah, we'll let you share your stuff. But I think for now, if you're just dropping 14 videos a day on our thing, we're gonna deny them.
No.
You know
I
what I
have
mean?
denied all of you.
Unless you're like
Literally
Millie,
all of you. Sorry.
you're like Millie and you're posting in the Not Cool about some movie or coming out. It doesn't benefit her. It's just spreading the news.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're sharing news articles or
that's
stuff
different,
try to keep it based on the topic of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like nobody wants to listen to a wrestling podcast in the Truth Behind Illusion
Yeah.
page. That's why we separated everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be the new thing going forward. Now, if you're a podcast who supports us, shows love to us, does stuff with us, and you share your thing, we're gonna we'll post it. You know, because you're engaging. You're part of our community. You're it's not just like, hey, I'm gonna drop this off here and see you later. Have a great night. Like that. That's not what we're trying to do here. I'm multitasking. I'm sharing
Oh my god.
I'm spamming these stupid IWEP
As you're saying not
networks.
to do it, you're doing it.
I'm just sharing them on
Well,
our
it's
group page
different
so
'cause
people can
it's
check
our
them.
page.
Yeah.
It's our page,
Yeah,
so we can do
spam
that.
on we
Yeah.
can
Yes.
spam on our pages.
Yeah.
So you're typing what you're saying. Please don't spam our page
No.
with your junk.
Well, that's the thing too. If
He
you
posts
actually
it like 10
listen, then
times.
you're getting the message. If you're not listening, then it kind
Well,
of defeats the
there's
purpose
some
because you're
people
not
that
you're not contributing anyway because you're not even
Right.
listening to the content of the page you're on.
Yeah.
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 Like when you post a preacher man.
Yeah, or even like
Hilarious.
talk to us.
Yeah.
Like on our.
I was like, would you
Our
like
topic.
to hear our podcast about life on a wrestling page? No.
So and a lot of wrestling pages I was reaching out to, like, hey, do you want to collaborate? And they're like, yeah, no problem, man. I'm like, what about this weekend? I can't. Oh, we're really, really busy. We're booked up. I don't have time. I don't have a spot for you. I'm like, all right, no problem. And then they do 14 episodes with 100 people, and I'm like, oh, we wanted to get you on, but it didn't work. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah.
But then another.
Well, I'd love to share your stuff to my page, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So,
work.
Don't have the time.
So then,
Yeah.
like, we had a wrestling group that came in
Can't
and
spare
hung out with
square.
us last episode and had a great conversation, and we were all talking wrestling, and now their videos are green light to be posted on our page because they came in and participated.
Mhm.
I didn't get a chance to watch your videos yet. If you're watching this show too, because I work all during the
You're
week at
busy
nighttime.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and stuff.
everyone don't have unlimited free time.
Send
Yeah.
me if you
We
listen.
all
If you
work.
want me to listen to your podcast, please send me your audio only, like an actual
Yeah,
podcast,
because then you can do it during work. Yeah.
and I can listen to it during work. I've
your
been
fancy headphones.
I've
Yeah,
been
your fancy
binge
head-
listening
Did
podcasts.
you
Yes.
know that they
Forehead.
go right on your temples?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on your temples. But yes, let's get into our that. It's been 10 minutes of plugs.
Your mind control headphones.
While we're on the plug train, let's
Brainwashing?
just get it done. Me and Andy are both wearing Kryptonaut podcast
Mhm.
T-shirts, which is
Mine's pretty cool. I like the
I like both of yours. I
yeah,
like
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
looks
they're
like
both real
retro.
nice.
Well, it's the retro like '60s monster movie film logo.
It
they
came from the
Yeah.
sky.
fantastic podcast.
And so I told you, I don't listen to shit.
Yeah.
I like the guys though; they're likable.
Yep.
They reference metal, comic books,
Wrestling
sometimes wrestling, yeah.
and beer.
Yeah, and beer. They
They're
do it. Yeah.
always drinking beer on their show, which is
Mhm.
cool with me. Hopefully in the future we can collaborate and do an
Yeah.
episode. I feel like they're way out of our league though. Like, is their research and what they
don't
know?
put that out to the universe.
Yeah.
We are at their league.
Oh, they're so good.
we are at their
It-
level.
We're all
Listen,
good.
Put that out, manifest
I
it.
listen.
We're all good.
I listen to their podcast, and it drives me to do more research and become better. Like,
That's awesome.
like,
That's good, but Rob's a machine, man.
yeah,
Machine.
they're so like. Honestly, that's like,
But you don't know what he's doing. Like,
Yeah.
is he working 40 hours? What's he?
I think they are. I think
Do they
they're.
pre-tape
mean-
anything? Or
Huh?
is it all live stuff?
It's all pre-taped.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, they could technically pre-tape 3 episodes in 1 week and then
Yeah,
have 3 weeks
yeah.
of research.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Very true.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we don't know the behind the scenes. I think
Right.
what we do is not. I'm not saying it's not easy, but like,
Well, we're not saying we are.
We all work
official
for-
experts, and
Yeah.
we know everything about this topic. Like,
yeah, we definitely don't. we're people who work 40-hour week jobs, bust
Yeah.
our ass, and then show up once a week just to be with friends
it's
and talk
different
about
when
stuff
you're
we're into.
when you're Conrad Thompson. You have all day to do your podcast.
Yeah.
and with your wrestling.
I think we
man,
do
one day,
we do a
man.
good job. One day we'll be.
One day that 40-hour work week is going right into here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
40
I
hours of
never
research.
listen to a show and be like, hey, that wasn't 100% right.
No, not at all.
Stop
Yeah.
listening because
They're good. They're just really good. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Get back to
listening.
Kryptonite. And their shirts are awesome.
Yeah, they
I love
used to
their
be public,
shirt.
but they listening to a podcast like that or any Hunter podcast like
Mhm.
inspires me to
Well, that's
do
good.
better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's how it should be.
Yeah. So I really enjoy them. So go check out the Kryptonaut podcast. Cool dudes. The one dude just got diagnosed with COVID. He's home
Aw.
doing better. The other guy's brother is
Yes, Mark's brother,
He's
yeah.
struggling through leukemia, but he's doing better
Oh,
now.
Goodness.
Yeah, so they're good. They're cool podcasts. And like I said, if you like monsters and all that stuff, they do amazing job. All right. So with that being said, we are not experts. Everyone's at this
Hey,
table.
we all
have
have to talk like this.
We've all
Yeah.
The whole show.
we all have our own opinions and and takes on different things. This show is not for kids, so if you do have kids
No.
listening,
I
we
don't,
may
I don't
Not
think
for
they're
kids?
yeah.
we may say some
I
stuff.
don't think there's any 12-year-old kid that's like, you know what, I like podcasts. Like when Steve Austin used to do his family friendly, I'm like, who's listening
Alexis.
to wrestling?
I was
Well,
gonna
yeah,
say,
but
but she's 13.
But-
Next
yeah,
year.
for the
Next
most
year
part.
for 12-year-olds.
no, like
Yeah, turn Nikolai.
8-year-old is like, I really want to hear about a wrestling story from the 80s.
They
So
probably
I hope they don't
About
curse.
Spooky
So-
monsters sometimes.
yeah,
so
so-
it's good to clarify that this
Yeah.
isn't for kids.
Probably should
Yes.
have done that in the very
Well,
beginning.
you should say not safe for work. But I don't think anyone said a bad word yet.
Fuck.
Yeah, there you go.
And then if
I'm
you
right.
want to jump in immediately after this, we will be doing it. Well, actually, I lied. Not immediately after this. We're going to record our Patreon episode.
Yes.
Available
And that is-
later.
And it will be available later. We're not
Mm-hmm.
doing live anymore because I can do it better on this, what we're recording on now,
Mm-hmm.
and make it look and sound and be better. And then we can upload it So it'll be up tonight, tomorrow-ish, our Patreon. And
So
our
become a patron.
And our Patreon is going to be different spooky stories and more like loose-based banter, kind of what you're hearing here, and not so much on topic. But all right, all that's fine out of the way.
Yeah.
So this week's topic is about vampires.
Oh.
This was your pick, Nikolai.
It was.
So this is your first step to the plate here
We need that
at the show.
And
And I'm going to
we need pipe
now-
organ. Can we get pipe organ effects on that?
maybe.
We should.
We should have. Yeah, I just don't know what we can use that's like copywritten and get us
Yeah.
taken.
We're gonna get banned.
Yeah, get banned immediately. But I'm going to shut up now because the way we're doing it is when someone picks a topic, I'm just let them do their topic. I'm releasing control. So it is on you, Nikolai. Go for it.
Okay. So you just have to jump in with your random history stuff that I don't have then.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here and there with some stuff. I don't have it really typed out or thing. I just kind of,
Yeah.
I'm going to go off memory of what I've been listening to. Once again, we're not experts. We're just people who fucking talk about stuff we're into. Second curse, there it is, out of the way. Your kids are there? All right, well, they're going to get
Jen?
they're going to get nightmares, Jen.
Sorry.
We're
No.
We're going to talk about this stuff.
Headphones.
It's a little graphic. Little
Yes,
is an
real quick.
understatement. Little is an understatement.
Another big thing, if you are triggered to violence, blood, sexual content, rape, this is probably not going to be a great episode for you because vampires are a lord in a lot of that. So
Yep.
trigger warnings ahead.
Yes.
All right. So I guess I'm up.
Take it away.
All
Nikolai.
right. So the first thing I went through, I always like when like doing research stuff is to go to like a history channel type thing and see what they have to say on a topic. All right. So when you hear the word vampire, most of you are going to think about Count Dracula. But history of the vampire started way before Bram Stoker created the novel in Dracula in 1897. They begin with like, what is a vampire? Their most characteristics, I mean, in the beginning, this is like Hollywood has ripped apart this through many different kind of renditions. But for the most part, they all drink blood. Some of them can turn their victims into vampires. Sunlight makes them weak. They can turn into bats or wolves, which I didn't really know about.
Yes,
That the
and,
wolf was
and
a part of it.
Mist, as in Castlevania Symphony of the Dark.
Okay.
You can turn all three, but the other, see, I'm going to throw my video game knowledge.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of
Yeah,
pop culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
And vampires, yeah, the Mist or the wolves, and it's like, oh, they're kind of like werewolf. No, so they can't,
Yeah, so that's what, because like I always thought like,
but it's like a wolf.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Not like a wolf creature man.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
They're
That-
shapeshifters.
yeah.
Yes.
And then obviously they can't see the reflection in the mirror and they have no shadows.
And they're also very fast. Did you hear about the whisper too, where they can like whisper and talk to people, talk to each other? Vampires from far away or communicate with the people with what's it called when they have a
Telepathy?
no, when they have a person that's their one person that they can always they
Oh,
drink
like they're
blood from?
familiar?
Kind of, yeah.
they're
And
familiar.
they can like talk to them when because there's some people that keep alive just to drink
Like
blood from.
Sookie.
A thrall?
Like going back. Yeah,
like,
thrall, yeah.
like
Thrall.
Sookie and Bill, where she
Yeah.
can telepathically communicate to Bill no matter where he's at.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I
True
thought you were
blood.
talking about Jersey Shore.
No, this is True Blood.
No, that's
Not
Hence my
Snooki.
shirt today.
So in the vampire show True Blood, she's not converted to a vampire.
Okay.
But she is his property.
Yeah, some in lore keep
Think
their
it's thrall.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her thrall. Yeah.
And they can do
her.
the whisper and talk to them.
And if she's in danger or she calls out to him,
Yeah,
no matter where he's at, he can
a lot of them
he'll
have
hear
like,
it. Yeah.
a super speed, super strength.
Yep.
There's different powers depending on how you look at it.
Yes.
so. Next in this article to talk about is, of course, you can't talk about vampires without talking about Vlad the Impaler, which some see him as a tyrant, and a lot of people in the Romanian history type of things see him not so much. They think of him as a hero because he fought off the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, just like Mongolia, they love Genghis Khan. 'Cause My uncle met a woman from Mongolia, married her, and Genghis Khan is the man. He can do no
Okay.
wrong. There's
Wow.
paintings.
Damn.
I got a shirt. I got
Some-
a painting with him.
Some people
A
really
wallet.
really enjoy strict discipline and structure. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like
But it's also like their local hero. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know.
we may see people as maybe don't have freedoms or will or power. They see it as, hey, like some people love Putin because in their neighborhood, if you go in there and you act a fool, you're going to jail or you're
Yeah.
being punished for your crime to the fullest
It's the
extent.
different society.
And then people don't do that crime anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but all that stuff does have corruption, and you can say that someone's
gosh,
doing a
yeah.
crime and they didn't do it. So we're not going to get into that. But yes, Vlad the Impaler does have pros and cons depending on who you ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And just so you guys have like a time reference of when he was kind of around, his rule anyway was around 1456 to 1462. So definitely a long ass time.
The fuck?
ago. Yeah. He definitely earned his nickname, Vlad the Impaler, by taking his enemies and sticking these big wooden stakes through them.
Sometimes while they were alive.
Yes.
Yep.
And actually, one of the
Most
documentaries
times.
that I watched, he on one of the poles, he would stick it up their ass
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
watch them slide, and that would be
Yeah.
the way that they would die.
Mhm.
There's also accounts of him in story. There's no real proof of this, that he would take the victim's blood and dip bread into it and eat it as well.
I think that was more of a power move, though.
And put
Yeah.
the heads on
Yeah.
bikes.
Sure it was.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of like a fear type of thing.
There's a story of him where he was walking through his the town, and there's a fountain, and at the fountain, it's like a public drinking fountain, and he would place a gold chalice there, and this guy said, "Aren't you afraid that's going to get stolen?" He goes, "Not my rule, because the person who steals that gold chalice knows they will come back with no hand."
Yeah.
Mm.
And he would leave a solid gold, and these are poor people, like not poor, but these are
Right.
people like
Common-
obviously.
common man.
But
Com-
it's
the common
also
people.
people in the 1400s
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
where
And
it's
he
But he
would
did
leave-
live in the castle.
He would
that's-
leave a gold ruby ruby encrusted gold chalice at a public drinking fountain for people to use, and it never got stolen.
Yeah.
Well, when you look
Well, yeah,
on
when
the
you
way to his
put-
castle and his body's on pikes,
I
you're
was
like,
gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
I
Like
guess we're not down to take that.
You don't want to be on one.
I wouldn't fuck with that chalice either, man.
Thanks for the beer.
But then I find it interesting. They jump forward to like the 1800s, and
Which
they're
is 400 years. later.
yeah,
I can do that
Mhm.
math.
and it's actually in America this time that they start talking about, it, and they talk about
Mhm.
Mercy Brown, who's from Rhode Island, and she was the daughter of a man named George Brown, and he was a farmer. And a lot of his family during that time died of tuberculosis. And when she died, they assumed that, oh, well, it must have been something undead. So they dug up the body and they wanted to find signs of vampirism. So when they dug the body up, it happened to be in the middle of winter, and her body is also buried in a crypt above ground. So they noticed that the body was not decaying as it should.
Because it's
And there
frozen
was
solid.
right,
Yeah.
and there's blood on the sides of their mouth.
Yeah,
and
as a quick reference here, Bram Stoker's novel that we have here at the table wasn't published and released until 1897. So this is all precursor of the pop culture version of Dracula.
Mhm.
What's her name? Mercy Brown.
Mercy
Is
Brown,
that the one
yeah.
where they then put the cage over
Um,
so in case she came back? I know they would do that for a lot back in the day. They were afraid people would come back from the dead, so they put cages.
they
around their-
didn't mark
their,
it in that, but they
graves.
did say they took her heart out and they burned it and they fed the ashes to her brother,
Oh,
and then he shortly died.
Yeah.
no
So it didn't really say.
Well, that was-
like
yeah.
it was
Because
supposed
he ate ashes.
that's another thing. Like,
was it? Did he
yeah.
eat all of the ashes? Because then,
Or-
yeah.
He's gonna
Or-
die. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
he just happened to live with a member of his family who also had a contagious disease.
Yeah.
and-
That as well.
and you didn't grow
Yeah.
long back then.
What do you
Right.
mean?
Or both.
But that was another thing. Like if you burn, you gotta burn everything because if one thing makes it out of the fire, the vampire can still live.
Yeah.
And they would think if you could destroy the heart, that's why the stakes are the heart, then everything dies. But they still burn the body too. Because if one thing got out, they come back.
Yeah. Another thing they would do as well is they would stake the body in to the casket.
Yes.
Mhm.
They would stake it
Yep.
into the casket. Some of them would decapitate the head from the body.
Yeah.
Some would puncture the heart.
Mhm.
And some would wait till the body was decayed and then go back into the grave and take the bones and assemble them kind of like a skull and crossbones.
Yep.
That was a big thing. Or what they would do is a lot of churches and places over in like Austria and overseas would take the bones and put them into a crypt and then have, like, if you see like thousands of heads and stuff preserved in a wall, their theory is if they took all the bones and separated them and you put the leg here, arm here, it couldn't manifest
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
Then history decides they're going to talk about these real vampires that are in the world, and they're actually normal. Well, I shouldn't say normal people, but they have online communities, and you can find them in any city or town if you look hard enough. And these people, they do drink blood. They say it's more for like health reasons.
They're wrong,
Um,
but go ahead.
So gross.
Some of them, I mean, for the most part, from at least what History Channel had to say about it, they kind of keep the drinking blood stuff on the private side of things, just so that we don't create a whole like.
I like how they
These
alcohol
people.
swab before they do it too.
Yeah,
And they don't drink from the neck. which is
Yeah,
they drink
the arm.
And they're all willing donors.
on their backs. They cut a little spot in between their
Oh.
shoulder blades and drink from their back.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a sexual thing.
Oh gosh,
It's 100% a kink.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then some come out and say, well, I don't drink blood. I just feed off of other people's energy. And
Psychic
Yep.
vampire.
they say more of if they don't feed regularly, they get aggravated and depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need to be around other people who are miserable. Some people need to be around people that are positive. Some people need to have drama in their lives. Some people need to have chaos in their life. That's that they need to feed on that energy.
Yeah.
Which by definition,
some people need to stir up angry energy in other
Yeah.
people in order to feed
Yep.
that back in them
Yep,
too.
and
Right.
that's the definition of vampiric, where
Yep.
you're sucking some type of life force from something or somebody.
Because you need to survive. Like if the vampire stops drinking blood, they'll rot away and die.
Yeah.
They'll cease to exist.
So then I didn't realize like how far back vampire like icons, not necessarily saying that the word vampire was out there, but just things in general of like these blood sucking creatures existed. There were accounts, where was it, that the Persians had, where they did an archaeological dig and they found these pottery shards and stuff that actually depict these blood sucking type creatures, which I thought was really cool because that's
Well, the Mayans
so
used
far
to
back.
used to put on their sacrifices. They used to collect the blood of like them who they like sacrifice and drink that as well as before sacrificing the heart to whatever god above them. They would actually drink the
Well-
blood too.
Well, all cultures kind of quickly realize that like you can lose a finger and survive, you can lose an arm and survive, you can lose a leg and survive, you can lose this and survive. But if you lose your heart, your head, it's game over.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
there's something special about that. So
Exactly.
we
So-
need to harness this.
So they view blood as life force.
Yeah, and then if you
Yes.
lose enough of that red stuff, like if you lose that leg and we don't stop that blood from coming out right away, you're going to die. So then that became the three essences of the most important things in a human. So that
Right.
was the
And then also too, like, I looked at ancient Greece just because my head is Hermes, so I was like, I gotta throw something in there about ancient Greece. In the Odyssey, when Odysseus travels to the
yes.
underworld,
Yep.
Yeah.
there are these creatures there that are undead that can only speak if they drink blood. So he has to sacrifice two animals in which to allow them to speak to him.
Mhm.
So I thought that was really cool because that, like, all these things existed way before these terms of vampires.
Mhm.
So it's just crazy to me that, though, like, I wonder where the beginning was of like whatever culture started
Yeah.
something similar.
Well, everything started through paganism. I mean, like it's like 'cause
Yeah.
that's what my head goes to. It's like Christianity and all that sorts of stuff didn't come until later. And so it's the idea of just like the pagan polytheistic type stuff where it's like we talked about before, where it's like once human society realized to a point that if you lose enough blood or if you lose your heart, a human can't survive. So there's great importance with this. So then if we owe our entire life to the gods or whoever put us here, what a better offering than our life source. So then it's just kind of that, and then it kind of grows and grows and grows, and then you have people who bastardize it, and you have people that shy away from it. Like it's I think, I mean, I'm just theorizing that's probably where it came from.
Yeah, thousands of different cultures had versions of vampires. I'm not going to go and list all the names off because one, I'll mispronounce them and I'll just won't do it justice anyway. But like once again, most of our show here is just getting you on the right track. And if you want to do more research,
Yeah.
you're always a YouTube video away from watching stuff that are people who are more.
Yeah, I wasn't sure like with each spot to like how much information to have because I know we
Yeah.
have a lot of stuff to go through and stuff. So I was like, do we want to stick with one thing for super long and just have that, or just kind of like
all
sprinkle
these-
ideas for people?
All
to go
these
find?
topics can be something where it's like, well, hey, I'm very interested. Like we're doing the base version of a story here. So if like maybe in a couple weeks from someone's like, hey, I really like that vampire episode. I'd like to learn more about like the Chinese version of the vampire. Then we can do an episode.
Sure.
And because everything we do can also take you down another rabbit hole.
Right.
And we're pretty much just like scratching the surface here. Same with MK
look at-
Ultra,
yeah,
same
like-
with all that other stuff.
And also look at like Catholicism and Christianity too. We're drinking the blood of Christ.
You can just sit on the table. Sometimes it makes the mic fall.
Oh.
As we all.
I know. right?
But the like I said, there's been different. The one story I listened to on a podcast, I believe it's called like crypt creatures or something, or supernatural. It might even be called supernatural. It's a story of this guy who was very poor. He left his wife, and they found this castle, and they went inside the castle, and in the basement, the castle was completely like brand new. It looked like nothing was touched, and their whole thing was to go in there and rob whatever thing was left of this castle because it was abandoned, take it back, sell it, and be fine. So he finds this secret passageway, goes down the basement, it's filled with a bunch of bodies, and he sees this crypt creature, which is what is the you said the name of it? You said it correctly.
Bruja?
No, the other one.
Nosferatu?
No,
No?
the
Strigoi?
Strigoi. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm dumb.
Because we're going to talk about it.
How is
Yeah.
it spelled?
No, I've never heard of that either.
Strigoi.
Strigoi.
That's Austrian.
Strigoi.
Not-
No, it's
um,
Romanian.
Romanian. Yes.
Yeah, because we're
So
going to talk about that.
yeah. So
Romania is kind of like, that's where everyone, because of Vlad the Impaler, thinks he's Dracula, that's kind of where it all...
Yeah, well, this is even way this
Originates
this,
there.
This predates even him.
Yeah.
So this Strigoi, it scratches him. It was eating a baby or something like that.
Of
and
course.
He came after him and he cut the arm off Strigoi and managed to escape. When he hit the surface of the castle, he noticed that every one of his people were dead. So there's more than one of these Strigoi. He ends up going home. He survives, but on his journey home, he meets a man. He's like, "Oh, you seen a Strigoi? You're being cursed." This guy couldn't sleep. Every time he slept, this demon would come after him in his dreams and all this stuff. He goes home. He he goes home and he's not the same person. He can't eat. He's not this. And then he's find out he's sick. All right. Now, also around this time, there was a plague going on. I don't know if it was tuberculosis or if it was something else. So this guy then dies from his injuries. When he dies, he then his family is now being visited by him, and then his wife finds him, and he attacks her and strangles her and kills her. And they dig up his body, and they find he has fresh blood around his mouth. His hair is still growing. His fingernails are still growing. He looks like he has claws now. He's smiling,
Of course.
and he looks really like he looks much like, you know what I mean, decomposing.
Looks like the feral vampire.
Yeah,
I
so-
have the definition here.
So that's when they were
Cool.
doing that stuff where the guy came and he's experienced on vampires, and that's when they take the heart out, and your family member had to drink the heart, so you couldn't your thing couldn't spread. It was all I don't want to say witchcraft because it's not what it was, but it was more like
It's a ritual. It's
like rituals type stuff.
Ritualistic, yeah.
And that's kind of like one of the first stories, and then it just kind of goes from there where someone dies, they get buried, and then their whole family then gets haunted or attacked by this guy, and then the rest of the town starts dying because of it. But it's
How much of that is suggestion of the
or how much of that is this guy caught a pandemic
Brought it back.
and gave it to his
Yeah.
whole
Mhm.
neighborhood.
I mean, you're in
Yeah.
a castle, dead bodies.
yeah.
It's very true.
So I have the definition in Romanian mythology. They are troubled spirits that are said to have risen from the grave. They are attributed with the ability to transform into an animal, become invisible, and gain vitality from the blood of their victims.
So pretty much what Bram Stoker did is he took all of these different blood-sucking creature versions of different culture, because I believe in one culture there is ones that can transform into winged creatures or demons. There's one that they can glam you. They can telepathically talk. There's ones that they can't go out in the sunlight. There's ones that can only be in the sunlight.
Yeah.
Like so he kind of
Daywalker.
he kind of picked and chose and kind of created this super character,
Yep.
which is I mean, in his thing, good on him, good research, and he made this
What a classic.
a
Wow.
classic
What a
character.
guy.
Yeah.
As I just clicked on things that says Strigoi are defined as living vampires.
Yes.
Humans are infected with vampirism while still alive, where a moroi is a term for undead vampires who rise from the grave after being drained of their blood by another vampire.
Or living vampire Morbius because
Well, yeah.
because I couldn't say
But
undead.
He got it from because of the stupid comics code, but he sucked blood out of his hands.
yeah,
So he
because
got it
couldn't
from
use his mouth.
Yeah.
And then there's also people who would use this technique in culture with sexual activity. Then kind of in our modern day vampire, they would turn around and say like, "Oh, what's a great way to relate teenagers to vampires?" So
Sparkles.
a lot of
Yeah.
teenagers. No,
Twilight.
a lot of teenagers
Love
never feel like
Twilight.
they fit in. They feel like they're outcasts. They feel like they, you know what I mean? They they're up all night because they don't want to go to sleep because the next day has their responsibilities. So they sleep during the day, and so it was just ways for the next generation. This would be predates Twilight, but that's another reason why a lot of people like relate to like the the vampire culture as a kid because like, oh, I can relate to him. He's just an outsider. He doesn't fit in. He
Yeah.
feels different, you know. So it's like I said, it's a weird thing that kind of just evolved.
And it did really turn into like a romanticizing. Like vampires
Yeah.
are always
Yeah.
good looking, and they're always
Yeah.
like romantic, and you know.
You
And
take
it's always more
always
more
sexual.
than not, yeah, and more
Yeah.
than not, it's very very romantic and sexual
Yeah.
and blah 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 blah, which is, I mean, believe and like whatever you want to do, but that's kind of damaging role model for a teenage child to have.
I
Yeah.
found that there's 10 different versions of the early vampire, and then I guess there's probably modern vampires.
Yeah,
too.
and there was some vampires from certain cultures. I believe the
Yeah.
Chinese culture, they were the best way to get rid of them, or like maybe Austrian or whatever. The best way to get rid of them was
By pumping iron.
was
That's the
iron.
way to get through
The other one was garlic. The other one was this. So that all
and that all
kinda
goes to vampire lore.
all goes
Yeah.
to vampire lore as well.
Which
So-
is, did you ever want to play the cool? I don't have it, but it's just like D&D, but Vampire Masquerade, and it has like all these races that you can be and all
Yeah.
the powers and stuff. And
That's cool.
They
So
take it all from vampire lore.
Bram Stoker is literally a genius because he was kind of like a modern day Jack Kirby, Stan Lee,
Yeah, and
where
just
he's like,
creating this character.
man, we have all these folklore characters that no one even, because there's still characters that people don't know about. And you're like, I can make a character that nobody would fucking know.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, I'll put all these together, and he created the perfect, literally the perfect
modern
story.
vampire.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then other people can do fan service and tie it back to Vlad and Taylor or
Yeah.
Elizabeth Bathory.
Well,
or whatever.
the Vladimir and Taylor, I believe someone in his family or his middle name was Dracu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the son of the dragon.
Yeah, and then the Dracu.
Oh, like Draco.
Yeah,
Draco.
like
Oh,
Draco,
okay.
Dracu, and that's where Dracula came from. But there's also a lot of theory too that Bram didn't get anything from Vlad. That people put the Bram Stoker mythology into Vlad, and they put that connection together.
Mhm.
So there's that's even a whole camp where some people are believing that Bram and Vlad are not connected at all, and some people are saying they are. So
That's the
yeah.
fans. What are they called when you're a fan? You write
A ship.
Yeah, kind
When
of.
you
No,
ship
like what
something.
Kamala Khan does. She writes Avengers fanfic.
Oh,
yeah,
fanfiction.
Yeah,
There you go.
fanfic.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things where it's you don't know where everything lies.
Yeah.
because he didn't come out and say, "Oh, here's where I got all my information."
That could be
Yeah.
another thing. What do they call that? The Mandela effect, where so many people believe it becomes real.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
So I'm a big fan of a guy named Josh Gates.
I
He
love
does
Josh
a
Gates.
bunch of different travel shows. For those of you who don't know,
I am Josh Gates.
he actually did a show a couple of years ago up in Wilkes-Barre. So I actually went up with my parents and stuff, and we got to meet him and things. He was a really cool guy. But he travels all around the world and he does different things. In one episode, which I bought last night because I was like, "Oh, we're doing vampires." He does a vampire episode, so let's talk about it.
Does
So-
it go to
He
Romania?
does go to Romania, and he goes to Vlad's castle and things like that. But the interesting part is part of why he goes there is because in the early 2000s, this news broke where there were these 6 guys who dug up this body and decided we're going to burn. Because I know we were talking earlier about how they burn the heart and stuff. Well, in this story, well, it's not a story. This actually happened. They dug up the body. And they're like, well, we need to find the vampire type stuff. So they said, like we were saying, there's blood around the mouth. The fingernails started to grow, and facial hair and stuff like that. So they were like, okay, well, people started to feel ill right after this guy died. And they started having visions of this person. So they're like, all right, he's clearly a vampire. So we're gonna dig him up and rip his heart out, burn it, and then feed the ashes in this mixture to the people that are sick. And they apparently got well right after it happened. The interesting part is when Josh interviewed them, he found out that this wasn't their first go-around. And in further research on this, because I was trying to find the actual article from the early 2000s, I think it was like 2004 or something, they mentioned that they had pacts with these families that they wouldn't say anything because they're doing it for like good reasons. But this was the first family that came out and was like, "You desecrated my family." So all 6 of them were went to court and they were arrested and they were supposed to go to jail for 6 months, but it got suspended. So nothing happened to them from there. And during his interview and stuff, it was just weird because it all started out, he was in a cemetery just looking at the guy's grave that they dug up, and 2 guys come up to him and start yelling at him, and he ends up going on a rowboat with this guy who lives on an island who ends up being the leader of this group of 6. and they feel no regret about doing it because this is what they protect their people and they feel that it is something that needs to be done. So I just thought that was interesting that like people are still doing this.
Yeah, and a lot of it
type
is
of thing.
it's obvious, and this is not a knock to those people. I'm not saying they're bad people or they're stupid people, but it is definitely lack of education, right? So like back then, like I said, you would get like we're in the middle of a plague right now.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we were just like still figuring shit out and we didn't have modern day technology or phones or anything, and you're like, well, Nikolai died. And now I have this weird fever and I'm fucking dehydrated and I'm hallucinating and I'm going all this, but all I could think about is maybe the spirit of Nikolai is still because a lot of what they did back then was folklore and skepticism and like
They didn't have science to explain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
They
so-
tried to.
so they
This was
used
also
supernatural
in
to do it.
the 2000s though. So even though we had science,
Yeah.
They still
they
believed it.
Well, there's
still
still
are doing it.
there are still communities who still. I mean, have you seen 2020? There's still there's still
Sure.
people who believe some pretty off the wall things.
I
Like
don't think superstition will ever go away.
No,
Yeah.
gosh, no.
it's like science can turn around and be like, hey, just give you a heads up, this will help you, and they're like, not doing
I
that.
don't believe it.
You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. But it's but yeah. So people like legit like when someone dies and you're like your whole family's dying. The best way they're like there's got to be something with the first one
Right.
because that's how every horror movie and everything
Oh,
starts.
that neighbor's
You-
awful weird.
You go back to
Yeah.
you go back to the original source of the death, and if you do something to that body, it stops the curse. It's not a plague. There can't be science and
Right.
bio hazards or anything. It's
Enzymes and shit.
and enzymes and shit. It's a curse. So they then dig up a body that they now in modern day times they don't take the organs out. They don't pump it full of chemicals. They don't make sure like I mean it's just like a body with everything still intact in a grave,
That
and it
could
just
be rotted. That could have,
That
all kinds of
will
bugs
decay
and-
differently
Yeah.
than a body that's above ground because when you put it 7 feet down, you're pretty much refrigerating it.
Mm.
And then a lot of times those bodies just get waterlogged because groundwater gets into them. So when you dig up a body in mid-December and you dig it up like late December, your skin peels back, which shows more fingernails.
Right.
Your skin on your mouth will go into your teeth more, so you have
look
more
like a
of-
smile.
so you look like you're smiling. The blood that's still in your body still is going to find ways to come out. And at that time, a lot of people, when they start coughing up blood, they're like, I got 3 days to live. Like, you know what I mean? So a lot of them probably, all that blood that's in their lungs because of their virus is coming up now. It has to go somewhere. There's blood in the mouth. There's blood in the fingers. Like it looks like this guy was scratching his clawing. Are the bodies in a different position because when your body moves and tightens, you move inside the casket. I mean, all those things happen. And then when they go in there and they stab a body that's been preserved by ground and cold with a stake in the heart, and the body screamed.
Yeah.
No, you let the gases out
Yeah, I
of the
was
body
gonna
from
say.
natural decomposition, and the body probably went. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
so it's
Or like Bender and that one, it's like when they push me, it's real fast. Like,
yeah. So it's a lot of just it's a lot of just not asking questions or learning. It's just like it's got to be a ghost. It's got to
Yeah.
be a monster.
Gotta
It's
be
got
the
to.
demon.
It's a demon. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of just they didn't learn or they didn't know better then, and then because it's fancy and it's fun. Sometimes it's fun to believe some things, and then you just
Yeah.
kind of carry it on, and then it becomes Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know what I mean? So it
or
is
Twilight.
or Twilight, and then they glitter. Yeah.
I'm sure there's somewhere where Bram Stoker is a vampire. or
And then
something
girls are like,
that,
I
you
would
know?
love to bang a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh,
God.
they've been dead for 100 years, so you're now you're into necrophilia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your thing.
But they're alive.
Our old guys.
They're not allowed.
They're alive.
They're
They're moving.
Zombies move too.
Maybe there's I'm sure there's a person for that too. Just
I'm
saying.
sure there is. So nasty. Oh.
We did watch a movie where they had sex with a zombie.
Oh.
Okay.
Old school Netflix had this movie called, I don't even remember what it was called. Me and Heidi watched it. And we were just like, what the fuck did we just watch? But they went to this old asylum. Trigger warning. Here's your trigger warning for the stuff. But they find this Asian girl inside this old asylum, but she's a zombie. And they're high school teenage boys, and they find
Oh,
an Asian girl, and they
God.
strap her to a bed and take turns on this dead zombie.
Oh my god.
And then she
fucking
then she breaks out and eats them, and then they
Good.
all turn into zombies.
Good.
Yeah, but they find a zombie girl.
Why?
It's a weird movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's wrong with people.
I think it's called Dead Girl.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think it's called Dead Girl.
God.
But this asylum was like their drinking spot, but nobody ever went downstairs. And the one day they went down, they're like, "This is Zombie Girl.
This is a terrible.
Let's fuck
First
it.
thought, yeah. First thought at the gate.
We're high school teenage boys figuring out our wieners. Let's
Ew.
yeah."
This thing's been dead for a
let's
while.
rape
It's
something.
been dead for a while. Now to me, that's just the same as if you want to bang Edward from Twilight.
It's nasty.
You're banging a dead body.
It's
They're
nasty.
not dead.
They're not dead in the same way.
Not rotting.
Yeah.
Dead is
They're-
dead.
Yeah, they're not rotting. That's true.
They're
There's
not
a,
rotting.
There's a difference between
Dead
rotting
is
and
You're
just
not going to
not
hit them
alive.
hard
This-
enough that their
this-
body falls apart.
This zombie was
bugs fall
just
Yeah.
This zombie was not. She was Edward aged. She just had the white eyes. She wasn't
This
decomposed.
movie sounds awful.
It was awful. It was
I'm
awful.
sure it is the worst thing ever.
Well, we also purposely used to. This is before Netflix, when it first got a streaming service, where it didn't have the budget for high quality movies.
so
So
Mhm.
They took what they could get.
every horror movie was like half stars, and we're like, oh, Friday night half star night movies. And we watched hundreds of them.
yeah, but
My
some of those
God.
movies are great.
they are great.
Like Rubber.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's a
Fido.
that knows it's bad.
Fido. Did you ever see
That's
Fido?
like trauma level.
Fido is where they put these shock collars on zombies, and they teach the zombies how to do like lawn work and like
Oh,
Oh.
my God.
zombies become like slaves. And this one kid has a pet zombie, and the zombie learned how to take his collar off and go eat people, and then put his collar back on.
oh my.
That sounds
God.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
actually kind of
And then the zombie apocalypse breaks out
All right.
because
Huh.
of his pet Fido. Yeah, we're way off, but it's all undead. It's all in the same
Well,
ballpark.
don't worry. We're going to get to zombies soon anyway, because there's part of that anyway.
I think
Hell
vampires
yeah.
are cool and stuff. I hate,
I do too.
especially when people got all into it. I wish a zombie apocalypse happened in real life. Yeah, sure. You do.
No.
You can't cook food by yourself.
Exactly, and you don't know how
Yeah.
to like.
Now you're
hunt,
going to be
probably.
an undead commando. Get the fuck out.
I like video
These
games too
people.
much. I don't want any apocalypse. I want.
Are you willing to dig a toilet? Because
Yeah.
that's the level of a zombie apocalypse we're headed to that.
I would never be
Hunt,
able to use the same one
gather.
twice because I'm bad.
Sure.
I'm bad with smell.
You'd be
Sure.
throwing up while shitting.
I would be like a dog who gets left in the house. I'd have 14 shit spots.
But
that's the reality of it. We're
Yeah.
going to live in a world of stench.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
thank you.
and you have to learn to hunt, gather your food. Farm. You have to learn to handle a weapon,
here's
and
the
half
deal.
of these people don't agree with having their own
Yeah.
weapons in
And then
today's
some
society.
16-year-old wants that to happen. It's like, no.
Not only hunt, but you have to be able to gut your own animals.
That's right,
Well,
and I
Yeah.
can't
Ju-
do that.
judge me
I'll
if you
be a
want.
gatherer.
Judge
Yeah.
me if you want, but I think if an apocalypse happened, I might be more comfortable killing and eating people than I would animals.
Yeah. Are you
kidding me?
I would rather shoot a person than
Oh,
a
yeah.
dog or a cat.
You're gonna eat me first. I remember
Yeah.
this conversation. By the way, they're gonna eat me first. Everybody, these
Yeah.
are my friends.
Yeah.
Friends.
I would
If-
never eat you. I would starve to death.
Yes, Tori and I said we would never eat anybody. So
Yeah.
Tori and I are really good
Actually,
people.
technically, we said you and Tori are both first to go because you agreed
Yeah.
that you wouldn't eat people. So
Yeah.
at this point of our survival, you are meaningless to either one of us.
Yes, they're gonna eat us. Everybody, this is our friends. What the hell? There's my curse of the night. What the hell?
Tori would be sleeping. I'd be just like,
I'd
be crying. I'm so sorry.
You won't be crying.
Get over it. No, you would only start crying when I would
As
wake
he
up and
laughs.
be like, I'm so sad.
I'll miss and like cut half your face off. You're like, what are you doing?
You moved.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Heidi's like, is it done yet? I'm starving.
Fuck you, Heidi.
She told me to do it. She's really angry.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is our.
I mean, Nikolai, he'd be the last one to get eat because I mean,
That's
he's
good.
not giving us a
Good to
meal.
know. You know, definitely not. I'm a toothpick.
Yeah, we're not getting it. And he eats so much sugar and junk food and candy. Like he's not even healthy.
No.
Like he has
all,
no
I
meat.
drink, all I eat or drink is coffee. So it's just going to be.
Coffee flavored.
Yeah.
as I have my Dunkin'. You're not living off me either.
Well, but-
Newsflash.
well, then you want to be a vampire in that world because then you just drink all the blood and
Yeah.
kill plenty of people.
Yes, I
There
would
we
be a
go, tie it back.
vampire. Yeah, vampire.
I'm
over
sure there's a
zombie
movie,
any
The
day.
Vampires in the Apocalypse. I'm sure
I'm
there's some
sure.
B movie.
Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
well,
the
yeah,
revert.
Daybreakers.
Yeah, where we are like cattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then they try to find a cure because they don't want to be vampires anymore.
Yeah, because they're running out of humans.
No, well,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that movie. It was good.
Good movie. All right, I'm sorry, Nicola. Where were we at here?
It's okay. So later in the episode, Josh goes to Bulgaria because he finds out that there is a vampire burial that these archaeological dug up.
Is that where
and-
they found it inside of a wall?
No, this one was in the ground, but it did have one of those big metal like stake things through it. And when they were asked about it, they were like, "This was a tool that they used to farm land with." So it was like what we were talking about before, how they like nailed them into the coffin. The coffin obviously like broke apart and decayed over time and all that stuff, but the bones were still there, obviously, and the spike was. So Josh decided, well, I want to take a piece of DNA and go and like get it tested to see, because they just found this thing recently, so they didn't really get to do tests or anything. And when the blood work came back from, well, not the blood work, they
The
took,
marrow.
The bone.
yeah, they took
marrow.
a tooth to get analyzed, and it's porphyria, I believe is how you pronounce the disease.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And some of the symptoms, for those who have that disease, you're sensitive to sunlight. It could cause blisters on your skin. It could shrink the gums and appear that you have fangs. And you can even develop an allergic reaction to garlic. So a lot of those things that we see as big vampire traits all could have been based off of someone having this disease.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Another big thing too is when they would find these, like I said before, like where they had like TB, the one they dug up a body and they looked at the rib cage, and you can see like the inside of the bone's rib cage was covered with like this thing, and it's like, oh, you can definitely see that the lungs were filled with blood, which probably killed them with the like the thing. And then they did the research, like, yeah, this guy had like an older version of like a tuberculosis where
Yeah.
he was coughing up blood. So like when they redug him up, it was all of the blood from his lungs coming out of his mouth.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's another
Yeah.
disease too, like that too, where sunlight bothers you.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Mhm.
forget what
Forget
that's
what-
Actually,
called.
I think there was a kid. I just remember this, like, seeing that as part of the effects. I remember this kid on, like, this morning talk show, like, a long time ago.
I remember this.
Where he,
Allergic
had-
to sun.
he
Yes,
came out in, like,
yes.
this suit.
Yeah.
because
Like
came
the
out-
Visible Man.
He came out like the
Yeah,
Invisible
kinda
Man.
like the Invisible Man.
Bound up, yeah.
It was all silver.
He
if I
had
remember correctly.
bandages and sunglasses.
Yeah.
I felt
Yep,
bad
he was the
for him.
He had a
Invisible Man.
great voice.
Money, money, money,
Yep.
money, money.
You will never catch me.
Here, you want money? Ha! Take it! Ha!
I sat in this freezing car for 2 hours. Now you must die. That's such a good movie. I'm happy we watched that.
So am I.
Fry Rags may be making a t-shirt line of that movie.
Well, it's in that preview, so I would assume.
we
coming
told you about that, right?
No.
The company Fry Rags is making Invisible Man merch.
Oh no, I didn't
Yeah.
know.
I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw in like a little bit of we're gonna chip in and get like maybe some like a t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that, and we're gonna send it to John.
Oh, he would love that.
Yeah.
That's so nice. He's a nice guy. He would really.
We'll find out
appreciate
more about that next week.
John,
Well, I
John,
don't know
the guy
about
on
the
the
Invisible Man,
that
but-
did the
I'm sorry, not
to
John.
Bulgaria or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked up that disease for sunlight. Solar urticaria. Urticaria, that's
Yeah.
called. But yeah, I think John will appreciate that. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah, thank
John
you.
will really like that.
Aw.
So because I like watching things and I'm not a big reader, I jumped to an old show. You probably won't remember it.
Dark Shadows.
No.
Ooh.
Deadliest Warrior.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, I
there
remember
were
that.
That was a good
seasons
show.
Where they, for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, they would team up two historical figures that would never meet, and they would go hand to hand or whatever. They
in
would
a
test
what
out the
if.
weapons,
Yeah.
in a what if scenario, and
Vampire.
all of the stuff that they would.
Viking versus pirate, and
Edge.
at the end
Like a bus.
they would
Yeah.
act it out.
Yeah.
Right,
it
they
was
would act
Oh,
it out,
that, yes.
and they ran it through their simulator 1,000 times.
I believe it was
and
on
whoever-
Spike.
Yeah,
It was.
I think
I
it was a
remember
Spike
that.
show, yeah.
Yes.
Well, the
That was a good
last
show.
episode they ever released was Vampires versus Zombies. So I thought, what better fit? Because they actually tested a lot of these like theories out on things,
It's so
and they
cool.
have ballistic bodies and stuff.
Yeah, with the
that they
gelatin,
show-
that was
Right.
the best part.
Yeah.
And then
That
whacked
sh-
it.
So during these tests, they actually show you what
is
could
it
happen.
is it a
during the
one-on-one fight?
It would be a,
Yeah.
so for this case, the zombie, it was like one vampire for every like 63 zombies.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
'cause they're
usually they take like
horrible.
a samurai versus an
Right.
American Indian.
Yeah.
Or like the one episode, it was
And
a
just the one.
Spartan versus a ninja.
Yeah, and it would take their weapons, and then it would
Maybe.
they would run
Have
it
to watch
through.
to find out.
Like they would go through all the weapons, all the armor, everything, their techniques,
Yeah.
and they would put through the algorithms, and then they would act it out at the end. But they would show you how the weapons, like how they
Yeah.
would affect the body throughout the show. It was an hour
Mhm.
long. The fight
Good.
was only like the last minute.
That's
Right.
a good show.
And the guy that announced it was Boromir's brother.
Oh, really? Wow.
yes.
Yep.
I really like
Yes.
that guy.
Faramir.
Yes.
Faramir.
Yes.
If you guys are watching, put in the chat what your favorite experience or your favorite zombie TV show or lore pop culture.
Not zombie, Viking.
No, sorry, I'm
Vampires.
sorry, Dracula. Any vampire-ish.
Vampire.
What is your favorite vampire pop culture, or when did you find out about it?
Castlevania.
Join the chat.
So
Van
in this
Helsing.
episode, I'm going to obviously just talk about the vampire side of things for the most part.
That's fine.
They brought in 2 experts that were vampires for the vampire side anyway. And it was Steve Niles, who was the screenwriter of 30 Days of Night. And in the episode, he talked about how
Which was a Vertigo DC graphic novel, 30 Days
Okay.
of Night.
God,
I
that was such
remember
a
that.
good movie. I really like that movie.
Yeah, that was
Well,
that,
good one.
that was a comic book movie.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
he talks about how we romanticize vampires,
Mhm.
and he wanted to go back to this root that they are an apex predator.
Yeah.
They are.
So
Yes.
in
Yeah.
that movie, they clearly are that. So he is the first special guest.
That is real quick. Sorry, that is the scariest version of vampires.
Oh my
because
God,
you live
they
in a
are.
spot where you see every vampire movie is like, I just gotta wait them out. I just gotta wait them out until 6 a.m. or
Yep.
5 a.m. when
Yep.
the sun comes up.
How are you gonna wait out a whole month?
Yeah, how you gonna wait 30 days, bro?
Yeah.
Like we got you.
Oh my God. And I love how they like their faces were all elongated and like so messed
Yeah.
up.
They can
Yeah.
hide, but
The-
when they're vampires, they're no longer pretty.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Nope.
I keep
Nope.
thinking about that scene where like right before the girl dies and she's like, "Oh God." And he's like looking up. He's just like,
He's
"No
not here.
God.
Yeah, not
No
here.
God." And like that really gross voice. I'm like, "Oh, that's such a good one."
And it's
Not
also-
sexy there.
It's also important to note that with these vampires, they don't have the 2 fangs. Their whole mouth is
Yeah, it's just-
full of razor blade teeth,
Yeah.
Yep.
which will come into play a little later in their tests.
Yeah.
The other one was Scott Bowen. He's the author of the Vampire Survival Guide.
Oh, Mark has that book. Or does he have the zombie survival guide? He might have one, the other, or both.
Maybe.
I think I have the zombie
Just
one.
a random.
That's
I have
awesome.
Sharknado
So
Survival
sorry.
Guide.
So sorry.
No, you're good.
I have both of those because they came in loot crate.
Well, then that's
Yeah.
the chainsaw. When one comes out, you jump at it.
Yeah,
And you
and
go
then
right
you go
through it.
inside of it. Yeah, and you cut it out. Yep. So they determined that vampires are 6 times stronger than an elite athlete. They also have super speed and super senses,
Like I said.
to the level of something like a tiger or a wolf. So obviously, to kill a vampire in their things, their strong point was to cut off the head or remove the heart or like stab it with a stake. So the first test that they ran was they gave this elite athlete these like claw hand glove kind of things, and they had a bunch of wires above him, and they had a bunch of dummies. I think there were 12 of them that surrounded him, and they would all move about like 2 to 3 miles an hour towards him, and his job was to cut down as many of the 12 as he could before getting engulfed. He ended up cutting down 9 of 12
Wow.
It's pretty good.
as an elite athlete. Now, times that by 6 and see what a vampire would do.
Ugh.
That's 54 zombies out of 72.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean, I wouldn't think a zombie would beat a vampire anyway, but
But they have numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say the
So-
amount of them.
now we talking original zombie, or are we talking running
So
ruthless zombie?
Oh,
original
that's-
zombie.
the
but I
zombie
still think
side,
vampires
just
would win.
for
Still.
something, part of their research was done by George Romero stuff.
Yeah.
So if that plays a little bit more.
I'm more of a fan of the George Romero zombies, but
Yeah.
those remake zombies, the ones that run, oh boy.
Yeah, they're creepy too. I still think a vampire would take them out, but
So then they decided to do a test on the bite of a vampire. How quickly could a vampire kill a zombie? Or I would assume anyone. I mean,
Probably.
they have
But would
rotting
a
flesh.
vampire wouldn't be
but-
able to. I mean,
wouldn't be able
they
to
wouldn't
feed
use
on
their
a
mouth
zombie.
because they're gonna get infected. Are they immune to the infection?
Okay,
They're
that's
usually
a whole
immune
other
to
topic.
diseases, but I don't know if they're going to get into it.
it's
Once
already dead.
The
so-
vampirism overrides other diseases.
Both
Oh.
sides disagreed
Oh.
with each other, and zombie people were like, "Well, it'll affect them," and the vampires were like, "No, it won't. It'll do this."
Like, no, we're
better So-
than that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that out.
Bro, fuck COVID, bro.
Yeah,
Which goes to my point. If you want to affect a vampire, it's necrophilia.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, there's got to be a different category because there's dead and there's undead.
right.
It's 2 different things.
If dead's in the title, it's necrophilia.
Nope, you got to change it a little bit.
It's better than a zombie, though.
Yeah, it's not gonna smell as bad.
No.
Yeah,
It's not going
They
to
can shower.
It might not fall off.
I would think.
Yeah.
I would think most vampires would smell pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be charming and alluring. So I
Yeah.
think they have.
Well-
a
Plus, they
I think
have that
a pleasant
allure thing
scent,
where
yeah.
even if they didn't, you're
That
right, you would-
glamour.
yeah, the
Yeah,
glamour.
the
You would,
glamour.
you would,
They-
to you, they would smell
Oh.
good. And
It
they
has
would
like
look
a
good.
musk.
My-
They
I
have like
gotta-
a musk.
I gotta get what's out of my head right now.
I'll stop thinking about zombie
Just
sex.
zombie sex and just falling apart. And
You should not have watched that movie the other day.
terrible.
So you get for watching that
Oh
movie.
no, we watched that movie.
Like years ago, probably.
Years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
years ago. I'm
It's
sorry. I
just
thought it was
stamped
like
into your
this
brain.
week.
It's an Asian, and then I'm like, then I have to like hook up with Heidi later, and I just watch an Asian zombie girl get.
Ugh.
And you're like, please don't fall apart.
Yeah, don't bite me. Don't bite me. She's like, kiss me. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near your mouth. You might be a zombie. We're talking about dead girls, Heidi. If you're up there, I told Heidi to hang out with us. I'm trying to like get her on the last mic. She's like, you could be on camera.
Hey, she's doing one podcast. Ease her into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
jump in.
No. Like a look at no.
Well, especially this topic because she's into like horror.
Yeah.
She's probably watched more vampire horror movies than all of us put together.
Yeah, because I didn't watch many.
True.
But go ahead.
I watched a good bit.
Okay, so the next test they did for the vampire side was a bite test. So they figured that the closest thing to an actual vampire bite when it comes to strength is an alligator bite.
Oh,
Like
Really?
Wow.
the amount of force
Oh,
that it gives off.
Oh.
So they brought an alligator into
What,
the studio.
the PSI or whatever,
Yeah.
pounds per square inch, or
Yeah.
what they
So,
could bite down.
An alligator,
They called their alligator guy.
the one that they had bite this pole that had a bunch of sensors on it, gave off 1,723 pounds of force.
I would say here's
Oh
my
my
theory.
God.
I think it wouldn't be like an alligator bite because obviously they have different muscle and bone and
Sure.
teeth structure. I would say more like a gorilla or a monkey.
Okay.
Ooh.
But you could say that they have a supernatural. They
But
can
I just
extend their
think-
jaw,
I just
make their
think for
teeth
the
bigger,
show-
Right.
have more power in their
Yeah.
than a normal human.
I just think they didn't have a monkey guy, so they went alligator because it's easier
No,
to control an
maybe.
alligator.
Monkey guy.
It's easier to
Maybe.
control an alligator.
To get it to bite
Well,
something.
an alligator does have, I think, the strongest bite
Dude,
down.
Do you wanna,
Yeah, it
do you-
does.
Do you
Of
want
any
to
animal.
fire? Do you want to fire up like a like a silverback
silverback.
gorilla? Just be like bite this thing, and they're like, he's like,
And he's like, I'm gonna kill you.
I think alligators are more dangerous than monkeys, and I hate monkeys. I hate
Dude,
monkeys.
For bite,
You
yes.
put me in a room with an if there's an alligator over there,
But
and I'm here,
yeah, I was gonna say,
I would take that 100 times over a
also have
silverback
to-
gorilla.
I don't know.
well, you have to understand too, because like the silverback gorilla is like bipedal sometimes, and it comes up and it
Oh,
can
yeah.
move and
Yeah, it can do
twist
more
and do
than
all
an
sorts.
alligator.
An
Dude, but-
alligator can literally only go.
Yeah,
But an alligator's
Punch
bite
with
is
it.
probably worse than a gorilla's bite.
That's true.
I believe that, but
I
the
wouldn't even.
movement,
I wouldn't even be worried about the gorilla's bite. I don't think we can get
But
that
yeah,
far.
'cause
And
it
we
rips your
really
face off.
crush-
Yeah.
Rip your fucking arms off.
Because it has super strength, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never
But I mean,
thought of this
you know,
before.
that's why they didn't go to it for its bite, because it's not known for its bite.
And this is why you're
Right.
here at our
You know?
podcast.
I don't know. I'm more scared of an alligator. I am.
Like an alligator, just like, oh, let me turn my neck that I don't have.
I'm gonna get you.
Well, that big alligator that was walking on that golf course.
And a monkey's like,
Alligators scare
I'm
the
you,
shit
bro.
out of me.
Run. I want you to.
Monkeys
I'm
don't
you, but
scare
I'm
me.
more.
You know what's
I'm gonna rip your arm off, take advantage of you, because that's what they're primates. So you're
I'm gonna
probably
eat you too.
So is this a
I
big
just-
spoiler for Godzilla versus King Kong? He's just gonna rip his arm off and beat him with it?
See, I think Godzilla would win.
He's nuclear powered.
he is nuclear powered. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who knows what the King Kong is powered in that? I don't know. I'm not into them. It's
I don't
cool,
like
but
those
like, I'm
movies
not.
I don't.
either.
I only
Yeah.
think they're gonna fight for a little bit.
Yeah, and then they fight the greater power.
And then they're gonna fight
Yeah.
the greater power, which is Mecha
Mecha Godzilla
Yeah.
or Mothra.
Oh wow.
I think it's
They're all
gonna
gonna
be
come
Mecha-
out in tinfoil hats.
What's the one with the couple
Mecha.
heads? Like,
He's already dead.
Get it? Oh, okay.
Don't
It's gonna
talk
be-
about
it's-
me like
it's gonna
that.
be- It's gonna be Mecha Godzilla.
You fucking dick. Talk about fucking tinfoil hats.
Oh. That's gonna be our
Well, they were
next thing.
talking about
You-
the greater power, so
Yeah.
I was like, flex it.
So at
Vince
what,
McMahon.
at what episode? We're coming up on 20. At what episode do we unveil something new,
Silver hats.
like a new logo?
Logo, yeah. I can
30?
have- I can have
What
one
we
done
got?
for the 20th one.
What theme do we go with?
30th, you mean? This is the 20th.
No, this is
No.
the 19th.
Oh,
Twenty
we
fifth.
don't need
Yeah.
one right away. We just got this one.
Should we
Yeah.
do the X Files
I
one?
just bought it.
X Files.
Should we do the X
Well,
Files
what-
one?
But who would we
this-
be other than? I mean, what? Somebody's Mulder, somebody's Scully. Who's the other people?
What are
Just
we?
X's. Someone's X.
X-Face.
Someone
I
has
was
files on a shirt.
I was thinking Men in Black, where like two of us are Men in Black characters.
But that's the same thing, though.
Yeah,
There's just two, and then the rest are just.
And then we're the little worms.
Yeah, with
You could be Frank.
so,
somebody could be in the fat suit. You know how they.
so here's what I would do. I would make me and Andy the two MLB guys. Like,
Why?
just hear me
What
out.
is this about here?
Hear
I don't
me
know
out.
where he's
Hear me
going.
out.
'Cause I can't.
I would be the Will Smith with the shock thing in front,
Uh-huh.
right? With
Okay.
the lid going
I like
off.
that thing.
Andy would be standing next to me with the little cricket gun, right?
Can't someone be
okay.
Thor? Because wasn't he in the new one?
I'll be
Hold
Thor.
No, wasn't there a newer one when he was in?
There is.
I volunteer.
Nikolai and Bree are the little lizard, tiny
The worms.
things. And then you're another alien. So you your aliens.
You're just an alien.
What does that say about Nikolai and I?
That's basically the same thing as the
Or
X-Files, too.
we can do
We're
X Files
lizards, Nikolai.
meets
We could
the
be-
Grinning Man meets.
Then we're all just cryptids or monsters again.
They're all
We could be
forms
I
of-
just want to be
Ghostbusters, but-
Scully. That's all I want to be.
Ghostbusters, but one of you is Janine.
I'll be Slimer.
Oh, I like Janine.
Heidi Slimer.
I like Janine too.
Or the girl from Extreme
So funny.
Ghostbusters, the
We're,
gothic
we're off
girl.
topic. Let's
We
find
are.
out who
I like
wins.
my fairy. I'll just be my
Yeah.
fairy.
No,
just put my
that's
fairy
our
everywhere.
logo. That's our logo.
my-
This would be like a bonus thing.
Oh,
An
gotcha.
extra
Yeah.
one, yeah.
We'll come back to this.
Deadly
Poor
Warriors.
Nikolai.
So
Bite
back to
his
the
alligator
bite, the
bite.
bite test. So they built this machine to test out the amount of bites that it was able to like put in the same amount of force on it, and they were actually teeth. It was like a clamp thing. It was like it's hard to describe exactly, but it was like a tube that I guess had what it was called. No, like a pressure tank
Like
Okay.
a
sensor
sensor.
on it.
That could.
Like you used with like an airbrush gun
Okay.
and stuff. One of those kind of tanks.
Yeah.
At least that's what it kind of looked like. And then it had a trigger on it. It almost kind of looked like
Mouth gun.
a nail gun. Yeah,
Okay.
essentially, but it had teeth
Okay.
on it. So what they ended up doing was how fast could they kill someone with this? So they got the ballistic bust out and they put it up to its head
Yeah.
and started chomping and timed it. Well, it took a whole 5 seconds before it bit through the skull and in through the brain, killing the victim.
Ooh,
So,
God.
and that's with the alligator type bite. So don't get bit by an alligator in the head either.
Yeah.
That's why I
Um,
don't like alligators.
But you can hold the alligator's mouth shut. So.
It's true.
You can jump
Very
on its
true.
back. Crikey.
Those people were brave, let me tell you. Dealing with alligators.
Well, they had a very long stick. I will say that. They yeah,
Good enough
a
for me.
long
Yeah.
stick.
Moral of the story: I do not really like reptiles. I just don't.
Snakes.
love-
Me and snakes
I
don't get along.
love
I don't like
Um,
snakes. I hate them even more than alligators.
Oh,
No.
I love little.
They're not
little
slimy. I
snacks.
found out.
I will die
No,
in
they're
front of
not
all of
I mean,
you.
listen. Over the last year when I went to go visit the
The one
beer
in the field.
podcast,
Ugh.
dude, that guy had
Yeah,
some
that's
snakes.
rough.
He had
Oh.
snakes that like if they bit you, it's game over.
No.
It's curtains for you.
It's
Yeah.
catnip for
You'll
you.
never see me anywhere near that guy.
Dude, he had an
Aw, I-
anaconda, like a legit anaconda,
saw,
and that wasn't
I
even his
saw.
biggest one. His
Mm.
boa constrictors were bigger.
That's
I
great.
want
I-
I want
I-
a ball python because they have those little puppy mouths.
Yeah,
They don't
like-
have any teeth and they're just kind of like,
Meow,
oh, I'm
meow,
just cute,
meow.
and you can put hats on them and shit. It's real cute.
Don't they get big though?
Yeah,
do.
they get real big, and you can put more bigger hats on them.
Nowhere near me.
Have one of them and run a haberdashery. There you go. That's what you want.
So in the chat, Heidi said her two favorite vampire things are the Lost Boys
Oh,
and Blade.
okay.
Oh, I
Blade.
love Blade. Blade.
Yeah,
Blade, who's half.
Blade's an
I've
excellent
never
Vampire.
seen
half
either of
human.
those.
yeah.
That's
And
why
Blade
he was
is
the Daywalker.
Blade is coming back.
He
to the
is.
MCU
He
this
is.
this time around. And was it Phase 4? This is
Yeah.
Phase
Th-
4.
this one, yeah, current one
Yes.
at the end.
And he will
like
be
2
back.
years, 3 years.
And he'll be back.
Blade is awesome.
Funny movie. Jen said funny movie called What We Do in the Shadows is about
Oh
vampire.
yes,
It's
I
not a
wanna see
movie.
That. I
It's the
wanna
show
see
on
the
Netflix.
show,
I
yeah.
heard it's very good. I heard it's the vampires.
it's a
It's the
show.
Office with vampires.
Yeah.
Yes, but it does. I think it's also a movie, and then the TV show came out of a movie.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Van Helsing with Wolverine, and a lot of people don't
Oh.
like that movie.
I love
that
Van
was a great
Helsing.
movie.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Van Helsing.
I
Yeah.
thought what's her
Really
name was
amazing.
so hot in that.
Kate
Oh.
Beckinsale.
Yeah.
Beckinsale,
Oh my
yep.
god.
Under-
Her
Underworld.
running in
Underworld
those
is one of
boots,
my
I was
Yeah.
favorites.
like,
Yeah.
Oh, that outfit. Like, whoo, whoo,
my
that-
God.
And then her hair was awesome.
oh, she was just
And then the
she was
accent.
a vision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Underworld, right?
Underworld's amazing.
She was in Underworld, but she's
was.
also Van Helsing.
She is also.
Oh, really?
amazing.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the
They
love
crossed over?
interest, yeah.
No,
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 no. Van
different
Helsing was
character.
the,
Oh, yeah,
with
no.
Wolverine as Van Helsing.
It was
Hugh
just Kate
Jackman.
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale
Yeah,
was in
standalone.
Van Helsing.
But she was
Completely different
also the
story.
main girl in Underworld, right?
Yes.
Yes, but they're
Okay.
different
Yeah, the movies were
Different
not.
stories.
universes.
Yeah, different stories. Both excellent.
She was trying to kill Dracula, her family.
Oh yeah, she had to avenge.
Yes.
Because if
Ah.
she didn't kill him and she died, none of them would go to heaven.
Yeah. Van Helsing's a very popular. He
Very
spans a lot
popular.
of across a lot of
Mhm.
universes and dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True Blood is also excellent.
Underworld, she was a
It
vampire.
started good and then it got
Well, let me
Yeah.
rephrase
Really?
this. The books are excellent.
Yeah.
The book, I highly
Oh.
recommend them. I have the entire series. Read the books. Very good.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the first 2 Underworld movies are good. The
I
third one's
can't read.
okay, and then it goes down.
True Blood started off like True Blood essentially was X-Men.
It was a popular show.
It was X-Men
Yeah, it
was pretty
meets
cool.
vampire. Like
Mhm.
it was X-Men meets
Very good.
Supernatural.
Very good. Yes, I agree
Because
with
it was like the supernatural world wants the same rights and things as,
Okay.
as the humans, and they had to coincide with each other.
With the
Mhm.
But the-
synthetic blood.
Yeah, but it got to the point where every single main character in the show turned into some type
Oh,
of supernatural
God.
being.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It got way out of control.
Well, that's actually how it is in the books. All of them are, and it's really about them.
Yeah.
Like, each one of them.
Like it was just like it got to like season like 5 because we were obsessed with it. We
Mhm.
loved the show.
A lot of people were really
liked
into
it.
it.
It was
I liked it
vampire
in the
porn.
Remember they even had
It
the drink you could buy, the True
Yeah.
Blood,
Blood
drink. The comic
yeah,
store
it
had
was
it.
good
Yeah.
actually.
And then it was like the only two guys who really stuck out to me were the humans of the show, and I was like, all right.
Oh
like,
yeah, Rogue's in it, right?
Yeah,
She
Anna
played
Paquin.
Sookie Stackhouse.
I couldn't name one other
Suki.
person in the show.
And then everyone on the show ended up turning into some type of
a werewolf or
supernatural-
some type of
And I
like
was
winged
like,
creature.
Everybody really.
Well, that kind
They
of happens
are.
like with Flash too. Everyone gets power.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the basis of the story is. It's about them trying to be like, they're trying to exist, but they have to keep their identity secret so they don't get like hunted and things.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that's all true. Like Sam is a shapeshifter, Alcide is a werewolf, and then Bill and Eric are vampires. Suki is half fairy.
So R.I.P. Lafayette.
Yes.
Yeah, like Sookie, the woman of the show,
Mhm.
like the human of the show, turns out to be a fairy.
she is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why she's telepathic, and it runs in her family.
Well, she.
Don't be hating on
Lafayette
it.
was the best character.
He was,
Yeah,
but
he was.
That's a good name.
But he
Ah.
was the one that
Was
died.
he Southern?
He died in the book.
Lafayette.
He was a gay black dude.
Yeah.
Oh, did he talk like Gambit though?
No.
That's my big-
Everything in this damn restaurant's got AIDS.
Yeah.
I love him.
He had a scene where this dude walked in, and like this show takes place down south, and this dude walks in,
Okay.
and he's
Louisiana.
he's openly he's
Louisiana.
an openly gay black dude. He wears earrings,
I do
Mhm.
declare.
and
He's
he's a
incredible.
good looking
He
dude,
is.
right?
I love him.
And the guy walks in and he orders food, and then I guess sees who's making it,
Mhm.
and the waitress comes over and hands him his food, and he's not offended. He's offended they're not eating his food because he takes pride in his cooking.
Oh, okay.
Does.
So he's like, "Why they send this back?" She goes, "I don't want to tell you." He goes, "Is the food bad?" She goes, "I don't want to tell you." And he goes, "Why the fuck did they send it back?" And they said they didn't want their burger to have AIDS on it.
Oh.
So he's like,
Like a badass that he
He
is.
takes-
so he
and
takes
was.
off his earrings. He takes off his
I
apron.
love him. He like takes
and
his hairnet
he
off.
takes his hairnet and he gets the burger and he walks up to the table and goes, "Baby, if you didn't want AIDS on your burger, all you had to do was ask." And he takes the bun and he licks it and smacks the
Smacks
dude
him.
in the face with it.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
He was
moment.
the best character of the show.
Oh.
Him and Sookie's brother were my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there are some regular human characters that don't have.
But then he turns into a werepanther.
That's not his.
What
That's not his
Panther?
fault though.
That's a new one.
That was the writer's fault.
That wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't his fault. He
But
got
then the
That sounds like
actor,
Altered
the actor
Beast
also
for
passed
Sega
away,
Genesis.
too.
And then the what's his name turns into like a witch doctor type
Oh,
thing.
well, it did start
Lafayette?
as
Yeah.
mainly vampires, right?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, vampires and then
Well,
werewolves.
he
and-
already was because they live in Louisiana. So
Yes.
he was already kind of like immersed. He and I can't remember the
His
girl's name.
the show's getting rebooted.
Really?
yes, I saw
Oh,
that. They
God.
better
It's
do a
not
better
that-
job.
It's not that old to be.
No,
rebooted, I
it's
think.
not.
It was in the same boat as Dexter, where it
Ugh.
started off really good and really hot,
And went off
people
the
were into it.
rails.
And then when it
the writers
ended,
ruined it.
Dexter ended
No.
on a
I'm
bad
so
note.
tired of reboot.
I don't know if it's
I'm
not a
okay with
reboot.
this.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
okay
I mean,
with this
Dexter.
one
But,
because
like,
they ruined it
True Blood ended. The season
horribly.
finale
Horribly.
ended with a musical.
Oh,
What's wrong with that?
I would have checked out.
Oh, it's not
fucking
that.
stupid.
It's not that. It's a musical. It's just it didn't stay true to the story. It didn't,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Your
what the
season
problem
finale,
was.
where you tie everything in and say goodbye to your characters, is like
Do the song.
We're leaving tomorrow.
Had nothing to do with the story, and
yeah, and if it's out of place, and you're like, what?
it was out
Yeah.
of place.
on.
And
it was
That's
bad.
disrespectful.
Well, anyway,
spoiler. Suki ends up with Sam, who she was meant to be with the whole entire time, and she ended up with a random Yobot, just out of nowhere, a nameless man.
A
I will say-
Yobot?
I
Did
will
you
say
say a
this.
Yobot?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Yobot.
I-
people who are not
Random
local.
Yeah.
That is like a redneck guy.
Yeah.
Just
So
a
Yes.
random Yobot.
yeah.
I
So
love
in
that.
the show,
I
she's
lost my
torn
mind.
between Sam, who is her boss, who's
Okay.
also a werewolf.
Okay.
No, shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter.
Oh,
I
so
will.
he has
I
Mystique's
will
powers.
correct you. I'm curious about True Blood.
She's her and Bill are the love interest the whole show.
What's Bill?
Bill's a
Bill's the
vampire.
vampire.
Actually, she switches over to Eric.
Yeah.
Yes. Then Eric,
Yep.
who's the
Good old Alexander
Skarsgård. So now
Oh,
Eric.
love Alexander.
And then
he was-
Jake from
Skarsgård.
State
Yes,
Farm
I
pops
do.
in.
Yeah.
So
Wait, what was that?
I said,
Yeah.
and then Jake from State Farm pops in.
Eric in the show
And what's
is,
his power?
is the guy who played It's older brother. Like that
Okay.
their whole
Alexander
family.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Oh,
Their whole
amazing
family are
actor.
great actors.
Amazing.
But he was
And
great in the
also
show.
sexy.
But he's also supposed to be like 800 years older than Bill.
Okay.
Yes.
But the funny thing is Eric talks like I'm talking. Like, oh, cool, man, cool. We'll hang out tomorrow. We'll figure this out. And then when I turn into a vampire, I'm going to eat you and kill you and do the whole thing. Well, Bill, who's not
He's great.
that old, I mean, he's old, but when it comes to the times of Eric,
Yeah.
Eric is evolving with time. And Bill still talks like he's from 1950 England. And
Oh.
it's okay.
1800.
He's annoying as fuck. I was like,
Yep.
kill this
Listen.
character. I fucking hate
We
him.
have
It was
that
too
in
much.
life now.
Bill
Yeah.
is horrible.
People don't move
Bill's
on.
horrible.
There are
Yeah.
people still in the 60s.
Yeah, the 70s.
Yeah.
and-
Everyone around Bill is in the deep south, and Eric is just like, "Hey, man." Like, and Eric is his acting skills is he's from like another fucking country, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here, cool," like, and he's fucking
Yeah.
I like
kills
it.
but fucking
Suke. I don't know.
And he's like, "Suke, I need to come and these do a proposal."
So
And
he
you're like,
seems
"I
out of
love
place.
you, Suke."
I've never
He
seen the
is,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Please
haven't either.
die.
So good. Such a great show.
Please die. Kill Bill.
It's a show that
See, I was rooting for Bill, and then they just made him like insufferable.
I'll probably never.
Well,
never
they stay
watch.
true to Eric's character. They stay true to all the characters, but they change the story.
They
change
kept
the-
Lafayette because they liked the actor. Because Lafayette
Yeah.
dies in the book. Really
Yeah,
early.
he does. Yes,
and
he
then
does. Book one,
RIP
actually.
to the actual actor.
Yeah.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He
Couple
died.
months
He had
ago.
Really?
Yeah.
he had a health condition. I forget what it was. I don't
Oh,
remember.
my God,
It
he
was
was
very sad.
fantastic.
He was
Yeah.
incredible.
He's a great man. Yeah, really great man. I really
I'm not even
like him.
upset about this talk right now because it's still in the
Well, it's
realm of
I
vampires.
Yeah.
forgot that this was a
So-
show. Is there any other vampire shows? That,
Being Human, I really like.
Vampire Diaries and the Originals, which is the
The
two that Heidi
Originals.
watched.
okay.
And then Legacy split from that. But I don't know if there's vampires in that one.
Yeah,
I
didn't
don't
watch
know
any of
either.
those.
It's on my list.
I've never seen a second of any.
I don't know about the 100.
What was the one that the Johnny Depp movie was based on?
Dark Shadows?
Dark
Oh, yeah,
Shadows.
Dark
Oh, Dark. Yeah, that show. That was like a classic one.
Yeah.
Grandpa Munster was a vampire.
He was.
and so was Eddie. No, Eddie was a
Ed-
werewolf.
Eddie was a werewolf.
Lily was kind of a vampire.
Yeah.
Mm.
She was like the bride of Frankenstein / a vampire.
Yeah.
Eddie looked like a vampire, but
But
then
he's a
turned out to be a
werewolf,
werewolf. Yeah, they dressed
It's
him up
weird.
as
It's like,
a
how does
vampire.
a Frankenstein and a vampire make a werewolf? Oh. What? I guess it's just
He was adopted.
when you're a monster, you just get it's like a real roll of dice. So they could have had a mermaid.
Yeah, it's like superpowers.
Yeah.
Speaking of musicals and a vampire, a very famous vampire, Audrey. Audrey 2 was a vampire.
She was a plant.
Yeah, she's a plant.
But how did it survive?
Blood.
Blood.
On the life force of
but
blood.
it's not a human.
Yeah.
It's
If that's a plant.
Doesn't-
What are you talking about?
I mean,
Little
it's
Shop
a
of Horrors?
vampire.
we have
Plant,
we
yes.
have vampire.
There's
we
a
have,
carnivorous plant.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
just that was just
That's like
yeah.
a like
It would-
demon
But it also
fly
ate body
trap.
parts
yeah.
because they threw it into my mouth
Yeah.
on stage.
Feed me, Shimo.
Yeah, I would not say that's a vampire.
Another,
Vampire bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
another good one is just regular Dracula. It was kind of like under the radar. John Rice Myers was in it. It was on Friday nights. Very good. I highly. It was like steampunk vampire. Very good. I really liked
How
it.
about Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter? I
I
like
love
that.
that
Yeah.
one.
I would
Very
be
good.
I would be remiss to say if we didn't have at least one this episode. Shayna Baszler was a
Oh,
vampire.
remember she was a vampire for a hot minute.
For
She,
one episode
yeah,
of Raw,
yeah.
she was a
That
vampire.
was fucking stupid.
I don't remember that at all. 'Cause I did
She
not like
bit
her.
she bit Becky Lynch's neck.
She comes up
Oh,
behind
that's
Becky and goes
right. That's
and bites her
right.
neck, and then she's blood. I'm like, oh, she's gonna be a vampire. They didn't.
and then,
They dropped
then
it.
they
immediately.
never talked about it ever
What
again.
the
Yeah.
fuck?
Because people thought it was like, what?
It was so out of
was
place
so
and dumb.
weird.
Speaking of out of place and
Shayna
dumb,
Weird.
Baszler is an MMA star
I don't like
a
her.
legit MMA
who
fighter.
will literally kill half the roster because
She
she
could.
knows how to legit fight.
I just don't like
But
her.
she's not super attractive, so she's not getting the push, even
Oh,
though she's
yeah,
very
no, Shayna.
talented. Yeah.
I think yeah.
So but she wears a mouthpiece because
Yeah.
she's an MMA guy. So she takes her mouthpiece.
She's an
out.
MMA guy.
MMA star.
Yeah.
So she
Fighter.
takes out her mouthpiece and bites somebody.
Yeah,
That's
because
so
Becky was
fucking
like this.
weird.
I think it was Becky.
Yeah.
It was Becky.
And
Yeah.
like she like I'm gonna dine on her and bites into her neck.
It was weird.
Well, yeah, it
And
was-
they
it
just
was
never
stupid.
talked about it. But Alex is in the chat. What's going on, Alex? He said being
Hey,
human
Alex.
is cool. But Alex, he messaged me and said he had friends from Romania, and
Friends from Romania.
they lived very close to where Vlad's castle was.
Mhm.
I hear they make a good bottle of wine.
And he also said
Mhm.
that you would be shocked that vampire culture is not very big in Romania.
Oh.
Their
I would
big
expect
thing
so, yeah.
is werewolves.
I love
Werewolves.
that.
Oh my, the
I
wolf.
love that.
Yeah,
wonder
they said a
why.
lot. There's a lot of werewolf
Because they're
culture,
like, we're tired of that.
Sick
We
of it.
want to talk about werewolves
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, disown it, I guess.
which may be a hint of why Underworld used that werewolf versus vampire culture
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
heavily.
Yes.
And then the main guy was both. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Second
He
or
was like
third.
the
Good.
hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
I
died
love
in a
Underworld.
helicopter crash.
So much vampire culture. Video games. There's
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
That's what you got to say. Alucard. We didn't mention Alucard yet. It's
what
on
was the one that you
Dracula.
played on PlayStation where you suck through the hand?
Legacy of Cain.
Legacy of
Yeah,
Cain.
and then
Oh, I remember
well, when
that
you were
one.
Cain, and then you were or was it Azrael?
Azrael. Yeah.
Azrael was the one that would actually bite, no, he would use his hands. Cain would just raise you in the air and suck the blood from 20 feet away into his mouth.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then they crossed them over. Legacy of Cain, Soul Reaver, and you're Azrael and Cain.
There is a new video game coming out, a vampire game. I just forget the name of it.
Well, there's Vampire with a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, vampire.
That was
that,
pretty
that
good.
actually that was
Which-
like Jack the Ripper
Yeah,
era.
PlayStation
Yeah.
gave away for free, so I have it for free, but I just never played it.
Yeah, very good game.
Skyrim had a whole bunch of
Yeah.
vampires
They
in there,
did,
too.
yeah.
Their DLC
avoided
was
them.
vampires.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and you
the
could become
Dawn Guard.
a vampire in Morrowind too,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
what was there one?
Um,
Oblivion.
yeah.
And then if you went out in the daylight, your health would slowly die.
Yeah.
So you would have to travel and like base it at night. So you would travel and then get there at night,
Uh-huh.
Well, the
and you
actual
get different powers.
fun fact they always go together is in the DLC for when you become vampires. There was actually when you're in the main city that house that looks like a ship.
Mhm.
They're actually werewolves, so you could either be a beast or you could be the werewolf or the vampire
In Skyrim,
in Skyrim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you get different stats like bonuses and negatives. So it's pretty cool.
When you get to the vampire overlord and you just like
Yeah, I like when they can like move real fast like that.
So also fun fact when it says where it's found in other things, right? Obviously, it will be here all day if we
Also,
did.
no men.
Yeah, it's been in everything. I'm trying to find the new vampire game coming out. It might.
Oh,
be-
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
yeah, remember the vampire
yeah.
lady? The cosplay's are already
Giant
out.
booby
Art's
Resident
already
Evil.
out.
The giant booby
Giant
lady.
We're talking about her already.
the giant booby vampire.
I forget her name. It's like Alex.
Well, the girl who plays the other girl,
Just
Yeah, I saw
died.
I
She
saw
died.
she
away.
died.
Yeah,
How
how about
sad.
that?
they said she plays like 8 characters in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like
Shame that
cancer.
she can't even get to see it out.
They
She wasn't
didn't-
that old.
She wasn't that old either.
She's like 28.
very,
Was it?
very
Did
beautiful girl.
I see that it was colon cancer? Was I wrong on
Yeah,
that?
colon
cancer.
cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
how sad.
Yeah.
Colon cancer is very deadly. You have to catch that real quick. So
Mm.
sad.
Yeah.
There's a knockoff Resident Evil game where you fight vampires, and the Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed it. It's
At
really
first,
bad.
The Masquerade of the Bloodlines Part 2. It's a long title. The Masquerades of the Bloodline 2,
Oh.
First Blood Edition. for Xbox
Masquerade:
One.
The Bloodlines Part 2.
Yes.
So the whole thing is called Masquerade, like Elder Scrolls.
Yep.
The Masquerade.
Yes.
Bloodlines.
That's the role playing
2.
game too. The tabletop.
Yeah, they're making an Xbox game.
Oh wow, that should be awesome.
The trailer of it was this guy. It's like a Christmas tree, and this
Mhm.
guy's walking around. He's decorating the Christmas tree, and he has a big smile on. And he's not. They don't show his face, but he's dancing around the tree, and he's putting ornaments on. And then as it's zooming out, the entire family around the tree is dead, and they're like bleeding from the neck. And then it turns, and he's smiling, and he's just covered in
Oh,
blood.
cool.
And then his fangs come
Well,
out.
it will
Yeah.
be like I'm sure an open world RPG where you pick your race of vampires and you get to pick your classes and stuff like that.
The trailer
It'd be pretty
looks
good.
intense.
I hope it's like create your own vampire rather than play as like, hey, you're
Yeah.
Eric Draven.
I did learn something. in
That's
this-
the crow's name.
I did learn something going. We talked about this off camera about researching vampires. I don't know too much on it. I just got a blip of it in my system. Shout out to WandaVision blip. But the shout out to MCU blip because blip is when you get
Yeah,
snapped.
that's what
Yeah.
the technical
but
term is.
The Nosferatu vampire. The creator of it may have created it to be anti-Semitic
Yeah.
because
Which makes sense at the time.
yeah, because of where it was created in the time, and I believe he was a German writer, director, or something. And I believe the character of Nosferatu was supposed to depict a Jewish
Mm-hmm.
vampire.
Yeah,
So,
stereotype.
For you
Ears, the
cancel culture,
nose.
people out there, run with that one.
Don't
There you
start
go.
already.
Yeah.
Go back and cancel that movie. And we
Start it.
didn't say one
Start it.
time
I also want to say this:
Bela Lugosi.
cancel culture. I know this is not the
Oh,
podcast
yeah,
for it,
that
but
was-
but you guys are rooting for a team in the Super Bowl called the Chiefs, which are also an Indian thing, and it's a bunch of white people in the stadiums
Yeah.
going, "Oh," saying.
Is there any Native Americans on that team?
Not one. I think the Chiefs should lose their name, all their
Oh,
Indian stuff.
God.
I'm just saying, if I lost my team,
Yeah.
everyone's losing theirs.
I will be rooting for that team because I hate Tom Brady.
It isn't that much different.
He also kisses his son real weird.
Yes, I hate that so
that is
much.
weird.
It's so disgusting and vile.
And
Fucking
he's
nasty.
on
He
the
is
Buccaneers, which are pirates,
Yeah.
who also,
What did they do?
they were not good people either.
No, they were
A
not.
lot of raping and pillaging and murdering.
Yes,
So
stealing.
this whole Super
Yes.
Bowl, this might.
His-
Listen,
this
the
kid
NFL
real
is going to
weird,
listen
so-
to this, and all of them are going to go away. Tony.
Good.
You know, and they're
Good,
going to
I
be like,
hate Tom
"This is
Brady.
the guy we have to blame," and they're going to put your photo online.
Root against Tom Brady so he can retire finally, so I don't have to see his face
Make
anymore.
out with his kids.
God,
Get
I
his
can't
kid
stand
taken
him.
away.
Pervert.
because
Listen, he
kisses
just wants to
him
go to
real weird.
Disney.
Yes.
Pervert.
At what age
Weirdo.
did you
Can't
stop kissing your
stand him.
parents?
God.
I kissed my parents on the cheek.
You never kissed your parents on the lips?
I have when I was younger, but I
What
mean,
age did you stop?
I can't remember. Probably like middle school when I was just like,
That's why
I
it's-
kind of like boys now. I don't want to kiss anybody on the
About the
lips.
same age as his son.
His son is like way older.
That or,
His kid's like, I thought in that video was like 12, 13 years old.
It shouldn't
That's a
happen.
little- that's
It's
a- that's too old.
inappropriate.
There was
It's
a kiss.
inappropriate.
I
It's
remember.
very
There was-
inappropriate.
there was
Tom
two,
Brady
there was two
inappropriate.
kisses. There was the first kiss where it's like, oh, okay, thanks, Dad, whatever. And then there was another kiss where he was just like, I want some more.
Well, no,
And
he's
then it
like,
comes
what
back-
kind of kiss was that?
Yeah. And then like
That's perverted.
And then the guy, okay,
Can
It
I
is.
be completely
It is.
honest? I'm
He's
gonna be
disgusting.
completely honest.
for a 3-second kiss where the kid had spit on his lip.
Plus, it's a
No,
little more
he-
acceptable when your
he-
mom's kissing you. I know that's being a little sexist here, but it's a little more accessible when the mom's kissing kid than when the
I'm
dad's
gonna be completely honest.
Nasty.
I'm gonna be completely honest here, and this is not trying to be weird or out anybody, but probably up to the age of 12, 13, I remember getting dropped off at school, and my parents, if I got out of the car and I didn't give them a kiss, it was a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
I never
But was
kissed.
it a peck or was it a fucking French kiss?
They did not French kiss. They touched lips, but he held it for longer than a second.
It was fucking nasty what it was.
I remember
nasty.
getting
It's nasty.
that's what I get type. It was like I never opened my mouth and open mouth kissed my dad or my mom, but it was a thing where I
See, now, if I had a kid, but I hate kids, no kissing. I would never kiss them on the lips. Maybe the head
I
or the
wouldn't
cheek.
either. Head
I
or
would
cheek
not
is
kiss.
okay.
I would not kiss
I
the lips.
wouldn't
I think
either.
that's perverted.
I wouldn't either, but I'm just gonna say I grew up in a family where that was a thing.
Also,
Oh.
same as me because
But
I'm Italian.
but my
so
brother
I-
didn't grow up in that. My brother, I think my brother was like when you kiss a baby, that was
Yeah.
like a thing then. But I'm not defending Tom Brady. I just think maybe he's older school when it comes to that because but I'm just saying
think he's pervert.
around that age I would still
inappropriate.
give my mom or dad a kiss at that age.
No, we're not saying
In
it's
my
wrong.
in my time as a child.
Okay, but did you hold a suspended kiss for numerous
Maybe
seconds?
that's what he
Because
knows.
it was a very
it was like 2 or 3 seconds.
That's
Which
still,
one with the one with Tom
But
Brady?
yeah, if you're kissing your kid, it should be a peck.
It should, a peck.
But
Well,
look,
I remember
on
if
the cheek or
if
head.
I was embarrassed,
On
if
the
I was
cheek or
embarrassed
head.
getting out of the car and I quick gave my mom or dad a quick
Yeah.
peck, they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" Like,
Ugh.
and
They should be embarrassed
yeah,
because
it was different times though.
I know.
okay, but that happened like what 3-4 months ago?
No,
when that video came
that
out.
came out probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
But he may also be someone who did that with his parents, and
That's
it
what I'm
wasn't
saying,
done
like,
in the
it
sexual
doesn't
content.
fucking matter.
I think
Yeah.
it does.
I don't think.
Because you
don't
could
think-
stop.
I don't
I mean,
think
my
he's
mom
suck-
does stuff that I
yeah,
don't
but
do.
not if you
Yeah.
don't know different.
Yeah, if
Like,
you don't know, yeah.
If
I'm
you grow
sorry.
up doing it over and over, and their grandparents did it to you, and
Yeah.
your parents did it to you, and stuff.
But
Yeah.
no
like,
one, no one's ever
okay.
said to him, "Hey, man, that's a little weird."
They
Oh, they
Maybe
did.
not.
They
He's
did.
been roasted for it.
But
He's
I
been
think
told.
I think the way he sees it is like I'm not sexually attracted to my kid. I'm not trying to have sex with my child. That's just the way I show affection to my children.
Yeah, I can sleep with anybody. I'm not sleeping with my kid.
I don't think he's sleeping with his kid. I think we're
Ew.
I think we're taking
Tom
a
Brady's
peck.
gross.
I think we're taking a peck on the lips and we're
The
stretching
first one
it.
was a
Yeah.
peck.
and
The first one was a peck.
they were both pecks.
The first one
But
was a
still,
peck, and
if I-
the other one was a suspended kiss.
If I was the
suspended
president,
peck.
I would
It was a
outlaw that.
it was
suspended
still
kiss.
two tight lips.
Yeah. No kissing your kids on the mouth.
Oh
No,
I
it's just
thought it was
inappropriate. It's
nasty.
just
Yeah.
inappropriate.
It was very.
I think
head,
times have changed.
cheek
And-
or head.
yeah,
I think
maybe
times-
back in the day.
Yeah,
But it didn't happen in back in the day.
But
this
slavery-
happened
No, it did
2-3
not.
years
Yeah,
No,
ago.
it's
slavery
not.
happened back in the day doesn't mean it's right.
I think
I'm just
whatever,
saying, just because something
Yeah.
happened back in the day doesn't
I
mean
agree.
it's right.
I would agree 100%. But I don't think Tom Brady's out there having
Maybe he's a
sex with
vampire.
his children. Maybe he is.
Or just a creep.
It makes
Could
sense.
just be a creep.
But he is the greatest.
But he's still
quarterback of
gonna
all time.
win.
No,
so
he is
it
not.
Doesn't
No,
matter
he
what
is
you
not.
say. He's gonna win.
How many Super Bowls have we played?
I played 0. How many have you played?
I'm saying, how many Super Bowls? How many Super Bowls have been played? How many Super Bowls have been played?
See, I don't give a shit. I don't give
We're
a
up to,
shit
like,
about
50 we're up to
football. I just
54.
think
I
Tom
don't-
Brady's a fucking
Yeah, I don't
Cheater.
care if he was the worst or the best player.
Deflategate.
Yeah.
Don't be kissing your kid on the mouth.
Don't be
That's
doing
right.
that.
Maybe
See,
it's
kissing
luck.
on the mouth is
Creep.
one like
Yeah.
it's but it
Wearing
was,
Uggs.
It was the amount of time, and now here's the
Now, if
situation.
he,
No,
if he
hold
went into his
on.
kid like this,
Listen,
I would have a problem with
hold
it.
on. Here's the situation that it brings up.
Yeah.
Where it's like that has to happen a lot, right? And not only did he do it, say it was a completely like appropriate kiss or whatever. Okay, whatever.
We got
He's-
way off the rails, but I'm
I
fine
know.
with it. I'm fine
He's
with it.
doing so. There's a giant camera in front of him.
Yeah.
There's also another guy who's there massaging his oiled up dad. Granted, he's an athlete,
Yeah.
so it's his masseuse and whatnot. It was the idea and the situation around having that kid come in and kind of show off. Oh, look, I'm a dad. Whatever, kiss me. Come back and was like, what was that? And then the kid like coming back, having a suspended kiss in front of a giant camera
Yeah.
that was going to be displayed to everybody across
All
the
over the
world,
world.
and having his masseuse go, oh, hey, Jack, sometimes you got to do some stuff to get what you want. Fucking gross.
That's
Very gross.
Sorry.
Very
And it-
gross.
It already
You
is
can't stand them.
homoerotic with the guy giving the guy a massage. I'm
Yeah.
not against it,
Yeah.
but just saying
Okay.
it is.
So there's
set
a
the
lot of
scene.
details that were missed in the beginning of this.
Yes.
Yes.
Going from a kiss to we add a massage guy, he's
Yeah.
lubed up.
So Tom
Didn't you not watch the video?
No,
I
don't
didn't watch it because I hate
It's
Tom Brady.
fucked up.
there does come a
Yeah, that's
point.
not dropping your kid off at school.
And that,
No.
that obviously
There does-
happens a lot.
Yeah, there does come a point where you become I can only speak as a young man because I cannot speak for young women. That I got to the point I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm not comfortable with this, right?
Mhm.
And it stopped. And obviously, I think what we witnessed on camera, like if you literally would have filmed me going to school at 12, 13 years old, you would have seen that. In my household, I'm just being honest. You would have seen it, and I was not comfortable with it. And if I gave my mom a quick peck and tried to run out, or my dad, it was like, "Yo, really? Like, what the fuck is that?" Like, it wasn't like my dad wasn't going home to fucking touch himself over it. Neither was my mom. It was just that's how you displayed affection.
Well, my
to your
mom
children.
and my grandfather still kiss on the lips because
Yes.
they're Italian,
yes,
but they've never held a suspended kiss like what I saw.
their mouth. It was a tight-lipped, like a fucking middle school thing. It
Yeah, I'm
wasn't
sure,
like
I'm sure the kid doesn't want to do it.
yeah, and he
No,
wasn't. He was
that's
on-
not-
he's
and
probably
he-
dying of embarrassment.
and he wasn't.
And he might be
He wasn't.
psychologically scarred from that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like
he's-
in later
well,
years.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
on the
like
news.
now.
If I got called out in
Probably hears
school,
this
like
and is
you
dying.
kissed
Yeah.
your fucking mom in the car, no.
I see. I don't
Yeah.
think they will because they'll
Oh, I
turn around
did.
and be like, "Fuck you! You're not coming to my house tonight."
But they were cool with it. No one hung out with me. But anyway, but
no, I'm saying Tom Brady's
yeah,
kid.
But I'm
Like,
saying
they're
is
not
Yeah.
gonna say
he was
shit.
definitely at that
Oh,
age
no,
where
they're
he's
not.
probably getting to the point where he's uncomfortable with it, and then
Yes.
realizing there was a camera in there. He's probably like, "Fucking dad, come on, man! Like I do it because I love you, and I still love you as my dad, and you love me as your kid. And there's no sexual connotation to it.
Not that
But-
we know of.
But
Yeah.
I think you're reading into it a little too much with that. But anyway, but I don't think he's fucking his kids. But regardless of what he is as an athlete and everything like that, but I just think it's that kid was literally living out my nightmare as a kid being caught kissing my parents, getting dropped off at school, but on a national fucking level in front of millions of people because his dad has played in more Super Bowls than any other quarterback in the NFL history. So like that his dad is obviously being watched and seen more than anybody. And that was a very, so when he did that whole like, oh fuck, it wasn't like, oh man, I don't want to suck my dad's dick on TV today. It was more like I have to
Okay.
fucking
It's like,
show
Oh,
up.
okay.
I don't want to kiss
All right.
my dad today.
Then why
I don't
is-
want
why
to
is-
kiss another boy on TV
Yeah.
because I'm probably heterosexual and he's heterosexual and I don't want to fucking be deemed or when I go to school get fucking made fun of or
But it's 2021.
Yeah.
You get turned around on that real quick.
It is,
Yep.
but it also is also
But
something
what if the son is gay and now he's confused?
maybe.
You know, I don't.
I'm not
think- I
speaking
don't
for
think
the
it's
kid.
right.
I'm not speaking for. I'm just speaking for my
Highly
experience.
inappropriate.
Yeah,
And I just.
but why don't you put your place in Tom Brady's? Why don't you put your place in Tom Brady's place there? I know
if I would
In
have
his Uggs,
it
yeah.
ain't right.
if
It
I
ain't
would have
right.
if I would have seen it as Tom Brady and then I would really me
Yeah, why would you make your kid do that?
You shouldn't. You should not do that. That is
I don't
Even
know.
if you do it,
I don't know.
And
All
I
right,
don't like.
with
I
the
don't.
people
I'm
there.
not a big fan of the excuse where it's like, oh well, maybe he did it and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And like I understand it, but at the same time, as an adult, you have the choice to be like, hey, this made me feel weird as a kid, even though we did it all the time. Maybe I'm not going to do this to my kid.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
times are changing. And if
maybe
you're
this
asking,
isn't the place
if
where
you're
I'm
asking
oiled up
what,
getting a massage.
if
Or
you're
like
asking
getting a
me-
massage on camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you're asking me as Tom Brady what I would have done in that situation, I would have probably had a conversation with my kid and be like, "Are you comfortable with this? No? All right, well then we're not doing it no more. We'll switch it to a fist bump." You know what I mean? And maybe that's what that family did at that point.
Maybe
But
not.
but I'm just saying, as someone who at one point in my life experienced
I know because
that.
you can relate with the kid, but
I can-
you got to put yourself on as a third party viewing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's
and I don't, and
inappropriate.
I'm
Good.
not speaking for Tom Brady. I don't know Tom Brady. I can care less about Tom Brady. He has no effect on my life whatsoever. But I don't think he's someone out there that's like getting sexual gratification on kids. I think he just loves his kid and he's being
Yeah, but it's still
affectionate.
weird. I
Very
well,
weird.
Like
Very
like
weird.
people that
only do
breastfeed
is
after a certain
see
point.
where if it continues.
Yeah.
Like,
and we don't know
we
if it-
have this video.
well,
we don't know
but
if it is or not. Yeah.
Will it
and that's the
continue
whole
or
thing.
not?
You'll never know.
Yeah, you don't know. I
So
think that's,
everyone tweet Tom Brady and find out if he's still
Yeah.
kissing his kid.
But there's
Fuck Tom
there's a
Brady,
thing,
he's
and
a
I've seen it in
creep.
high
Right.
school. If you play good football, you can get away with a lot of stuff.
Oh, if you're an
it's just not okay.
you're
It's
an
just
if
not
you're
okay.
not right.
What about that one that was just posted today of that
That beat
girl?
his wife. Yeah, to beat his
Yeah,
girlfriend
fuck
up.
him too.
Yeah, that
Fuck
was
him
like,
and
and
Tom
like
Brady.
literally, she was like almost like on her deathbed, like literally laying in bed,
Yeah.
and he was just kind of like, "Oh, you're still alive," drinking a smoothie, and everyone's like, "I hope something happens." I'm like, "It's not gonna fucking happen."
Someone should beat
Ben
him up like
Roethlisberger
that.
still has a very flourishing career.
Can't stand
Are
him
you
either.
fucking kidding me? Like they're
Fucking
not gonna do
douchebags.
anything. They're
Yeah.
not gonna do anything.
If you're good at anything, you get away with stuff.
it's a status thing.
Sick.
It's
Absolutely.
an absolute status celebrity thing.
Yeah. It's not just
Hate them
athletes;
all.
it's celebrities
three.
in general.
Hate
Yeah.
those three.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Dracula.
Anyway, who won?
Also, I just want to say this: goat Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, goat, not Tom Brady. That is all.
Does he even play football anymore?
Those words don't
No.
make sense to me, but okay.
Okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
It makes sense to him though.
It actually doesn't.
He has
Troy Aikman isn't even a fingernail on Tom Brady's finger.
He had a Genesis game,
He's way better.
and
than
the
Tom
give you
Brady,
give you
though.
the
Just
time
saying.
for that. That was like
Troy Aikman
1993.
won a few Super Bowls with all first-round draft picks and some of the best players in the NFL. Tom Brady won a football team with a third string
Football
quarter.
doesn't mean shit to
I'm
me.
just
Tom
saying,
Brady
he-
kissed his kid weird.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit.
Tom Brady
Why
won a
Troy
Super
Aikman's
Bowl
the
with a
goat? The goat.
fourth
I don't-
string quarterback
Here's something.
named,
Here's that.
our
I
wide
think-
receiver named Hogan.
that reads
I'll
nothing
put
to
this
me.
out there.
Troy Aikman.
So I hate football. Fucking
Yeah.
hate it. I think it's horrible.
Most people at this table are not sports fans.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm saying,
I like
do
gay
you
man.
think because it's so ingrained that if you have to be a man, you have to like football, right? Right? Hear me out.
Sure.
Right? So like you're a man, so football is a very manly thing. Do you think that most people like football not because they generally like it? I'm sure there's people that love it, but you think most men like football because they have to like it because they will figure because people will think
It
if you
does
don't
happen.
like it,
It does
you're,
happen.
you're gay
Yeah.
or you're effeminate or whatever. You're not a
Absolutely.
man.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
That's why
Yeah.
I really hate football. Like there's people that actually enjoy, the sport
Yeah.
and the plays, but I think there's a lot of people that only like it because they feel they have to.
But on the flip
That's
side,
true.
this happens also in other cultures.
Yes, with other things.
With
yeah.
like in other countries where soccer or baseball
Yeah.
may be
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah. If you're not an athlete,
I mean, I don't
you're
like
doing
that.
shit,
I think
yeah.
there's a lot of that toxic masculinity
Absolutely.
in sports.
Yes.
It's like,
I would-
Very
it's like
true.
people that were grown up like in a society of vampires and they just turned into vampires then.
Yeah.
It's a cultural issue.
There you
Yeah.
go. It's cultural.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
true.
Yeah,
Very
it,
true.
it goes
can't.
everywhere. Yeah.
I can't hiss. And,
Yeah.
I can hiss, but,
But no, I agree with you. I definitely think it's forced. Not forced, but I think it's definitely. Well, my dad liked it. I should like it.
yeah. So I should like,
Yeah.
it, even though I really don't like it.
I
But
struggled.
I can't
for-
tell him that.
I struggled for a long time wanting to play soccer my whole life because obviously, like everyone around me, and I went to a school where everyone played football, and they're like, "Why don't you play soccer? Why don't you want to play football?" I'm like, "Cause I kind of like soccer better."
Yeah. And soccer was kind of, that's gay.
Yeah, I
You know,
was.
like,
I was
in
called.
this
I was
country.
called
Foot
gay.
fairies.
I was
Okay.
called gay.
And that's
from
so
the
dumb.
It was so
Yeah.
sad because the guys in my school were called foot fairies that played
Really?
male
Oh,
soccer.
that's
So was I.
sad.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
And like soccer players are
and
tough.
they would like win
Soccer
all the
is tough.
time, and I'd be like, but they'd be called like foot fairies by the football
I
team
wish
that
I
would
was
lose
called.
all the time.
I wish I was called a foot fairy. Mine went a little
no.
more.
I bet you there's a foot fairy porn.
But it
And
was,
felt something totally different.
I was called an
Gross.
F word, but it definitely wasn't fairy.
Oh, boy.
was it 3 letters? I'm sorry.
It was, yeah. That was all of my
Fun.
life.
It was
all
fun.
of my life.
Aw.
Until they're like, wait, you can kick a football the same way you kick a soccer ball?
Isn't it so dumb?
And then I was
It
kind
is
of cool.
dumb.
Like,
when I was in high school, if you wore one strap in your book bag, and if you wore two, you were gay.
What?
if you had
You,
your ear
you could only
pierced,
you can only wear one strap in your book bag. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense.
if you got your left
Like,
ear pierced, not your.
remember that back in
yeah.
the day?
yeah, the left ear and
Yeah.
the right
Is
ear.
that the
So
gay
ridiculous.
I think
It's like-
I think
I was like, you can tell if a guy's gay with no piercings. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, sometimes you can't. But I'm I'm just saying, like, if a gay man wants to find another gay man, he doesn't need an earring.
if this was
Right.
if this was my mom's
Exactly.
generation, you'd be the gay guy because you have a yellow microphone cable.
Oh wow!
Remember, yellow T-shirts were gay.
Really, I didn't
Yeah.
know
Oh,
that.
You weren't allowed to
yellow.
wear. That was what my mom
I have
said.
4 earrings and
Yeah.
long hair, so there you go.
My mom
you
said.
go.
My mom said in her time, if you wore a yellow T-shirt and you were a guy, you were
Wow.
gay.
That's
yellow
insane.
Coming
t-shirt.
from the generation where the guys would wear crop tops and like
We're
the
bringing it
really
back.
short, like
Yeah.
terry cloth
We're bringing
shorts,
it
and it
back.
was totally
In the
fine.
80s, yeah.
My dad, Mike, had some terry cloth shorts that came up to here.
They were short shorts
They
back in
were
the day.
short and like
I-
a mesh T-shirt, and they were the most masculine.
We already said it.
ever.
It's a TikTok trend going. We're
You,
taking
you got to watch
Mhm.
the Rocky.
We're taking crop tops back, baby.
What is it? It's Rocky
We'll all
and
be wearing them. Everybody's wearing them.
Apollo Crew when they're not Apollo Crews, Apollo Creed when they're training at the beach. They have the real like crop tops and
Yeah.
real short
Yeah.
shorts
We're bringing
on.
it back, baby. You're 2021, baby. We're bringing if it's and
You
it's
know what? Go for it, guys.
we're bringing crop tops back.
Crop
Go
tops
for
for
it.
all.
Rock that
tops
dad
for
bod,
all.
baby.
Hell yeah.
You're a king.
Hell yeah, King. Wear that crop top and the terry cloth
hell
shorts,
yeah.
bitch. Hell
Wow,
yeah.
so that's 20
Fucking-
minutes of not supernatural stuff.
So anyway,
It was
who
fun
won?
conversation though.
Who won?
Well, there's another test.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Nick.
shit.
Oh,
we're still here?
we thought the tests
Yeah.
were done.
Yeah,
I'm
we're still
sorry.
here, Tony.
Ah, it's
So
funny.
the last test is the actual strength. So they bring in a strong man, those guys on TV who like pull the trucks with the
The rope, yeah.
And they did it with their
rope or
teeth?
yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Throw
So
kegs.
they
and-
get one of those mats and they have him slam his fist down onto the table to get his PSI, and he only gets 1470.
Well, he's
pounds
gay
of
then,
force.
right?
Probably.
All
yeah.
right. That's a joke, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not watching video, I'm clearly joking.
He's joking.
But that means a vampire strike is
Get a little closer to the mic.
8,820 pounds. It's over 8,000 pounds of force.
Wow.
Wow.
That could just crush your bones.
Yeah, so
Just
they made this
flatten you like a
rig
pancake.
where it's literally an arm, and they brought the skull back in, and it was all pressure sensed for that amount of pounds. So when they clicked the button, it slammed down into the skull. It went right through the skull again.
We used to have that
1
in
second.
Knobles. The
Oh,
arm-
yeah?
Yeah. Do you remember the arm wrestling machine? At
Oh, the
Knobles?
arm wrestling
And it was
machine,
from
sure.
like, it was
Don't
from
let
like
it come and hit you in the temple.
it was like 1940s, and it was just like fucking. It was I was like
They
that's
had a
what-
robot one too in the 90s.
That's what that was it. But this was even older than that. It used to be a Knoble that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But you would like it was
Dangerous.
it was a luchador, and it was like a fucking steel beam, and they're like arm. I'm like, fuck you! I'm not sticking my arm in there. I remember being like 8, and I'm like, easy, and I put my arm, and I'm like.
Oh,
So this
man.
vampire could
Real
just go
quick,
and just
whoever the
crush
5 people
and
are
slice.
watching, you are
Yeah.
you guys are fucking legends. Please
Thank
type-
you.
God
please-
bless.
You came in to listen to vampires, and we went on a fucking Tom Brady kissing his kid rant.
And how Troy Aikman rocks.
Oh,
We're not going to
God.
ignore that.
No, we're not ignoring that. We are not ignoring that.
The Cowboys are the worst.
What? No, they're not. Moving on.
So anyway, back
Yeah.
to Deadliest Warrior. They fight off. They do their sim 1,000 times, and it's actually way closer than you think. One is like 50 point something percent, the other is 49 point something. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins?
Vampires.
Vampire.
Also, before I let you guys know, they did it where it was 3 vampires versus whatever.
So it's
a horde.
Like,
Like a
yeah.
big
a
old
horde of
horde.
vampires, yeah.
Not to say probably they had the zombie.
I think the horde eventually can. I think more. If you read it 1,000 times, I think the horde wins more. or
I
less.
will say the fight was completely inside.
Oh boy.
The
I've-
sun was coming up in their video when the vampire tried to go outside and was like, fuck this, we're going back in.
Yeah, I think the horde wins more times than the vampires.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say the vampire.
Vampire.
Yeah, I think they probably had the zombie win in that.
So it was the vampires.
Really?
Yes.
The vampires did win.
Yeah.
Good.
The one survived out of the 3.
Yeah. I think if it's one vampire versus a horde, I think the one vampire loses. But I think if there's 3, that makes sense to
And
me.
they could just
But it was
crush and slice
3
at the same
vampires
time.
versus like 100 some zombies.
And one vampire survives, and 2 at least die.
Yeah,
I'm-
2 died.
That makes sense.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather fight what is it? A Brock Lesnar sized duck,
Ooh.
one, or would you rather fight 100 duck sized Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Think about
Wait, what was that
that.
one
Okay, would
again?
you rather fight one
Normal
Brock
size
Lesnar
duck.
sized duck?
One
So that means a
Brock
duck
Lesnar?
as big as Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
a big, huge duck. Or 100.
Normal size ducks, but all.
No. Brock Lesnar's, but they're the size of a duck.
Oh,
So they're
probably,
mini Brock Lesnar's.
That horde
Probably
could
the
probably
mini-
get
Yeah.
ya.
probably the mini ducks. Or the, yeah.
No, you'd be fighting
Oh.
mini Brock Lesnar's.
Brock
they
Lesnar.
would, they would fuck you up.
Honestly, I would just run to my car.
I think
and
one- I think
run
I mean, it's a crazy thing.
One duck.
Yeah.
One duck.
It's like if
Well,
if,
one duck is a giant duck, though.
I think
And,
we could take
ducks
one
can be
duck.
assholes.
No,
all
but it's a
if I put
giant
you
duck.
if I put you in a giant field and you were surrounded, hold on, and I put you in a field and you had a baseball bat and you were surrounded by 110-year-old kids.
We've had this discussion.
Wait, I thought they were Brock Lesnar.
No,
this is
change
my
the
scenario.
subject.
This
Yeah.
is my scenario.
Oh.
I put you in a field with 110-year-old kids who are there to kill you.
No, I don't want to kill kids.
How many 10-year-olds?
Yeah, but they're gonna kill you.
It's
Oh.
not so much of the kid
I have to go
thing.
Anakin on them.
Yeah, it's not so
Oh.
much the kid thing. It's just like it's kind of like the vampire versus zombie. Like
All right.
their kids aren't as intelligent, not as strong, but there's 100
They're
of them.
fodder.
Yeah, and they're just little meat puppets. And you're you're a grown
Stop
adult.
it.
You're a grown adult with a weapon. How many 10-year-olds do you take out before the 100 just engulf you and kill
You
you?
probably take out a lot.
No,
I'd
I think
run.
a lot. Yeah, I mean, what
I
kind
think realistically, I think you get 10 down, and then you're just fucked.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Because they're
no,
all
I think
running
I'm a little
at you.
stronger than that. Just 10.
no, what if you have a big? What if you have a really
I
sharp?
don't have much
If
faith
you,
in me.
if you literally, I'm saying me, and I'm.
Oh, I thought
I
you
was an
thought
athlete
me.
at one point, and I just swing and punch as hard as I can. Realistically, you only have 30 seconds of that before your blood,
Body
your-
is just-
before your
yeah.
muscles fill up with lactate acid, and you're exhausted and you're tired. And there's 100 of them. You're fucked every time.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Not if you have a lightsaber.
So Alex and Wendy are still hanging out with us.
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Mom. Hi,
yeah.
Alex.
Hi guys.
Sorry,
Good
guys.
Sports. Good
Weird
sports.
time. Yeah, we went to the Kissing Kids, the vampires, and it was.
Hey, Deadliest
we-
Warrior, great show.
We
It was
did
a
say
good
trigger
show.
warning. We just didn't.
We did say trigger.
We just didn't know it was going to that extent.
yeah.
All kinds of triggers today.
The second it turns into
And
like
next-
kids potentially being like upset or abused, I'm
and then,
like,
uh,
let's go.
And then this next Sunday, when my dad's back on Banging Bears, I'm gonna kiss him on the lips in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blech.
good.
I'm not gonna watch that one. So good for you.
The audio only one.
Realistically, I think
God.
I'm just being funny at this point. I just think I would have no problem with any dude. Like realistically, I'm just being completely honest.
Mhm.
If a dude was like, "Hey, man, I show affection this way," I hug everybody, and that makes heterosexual mans
No,
uncomfortable.
yeah, but two
kidding.
adults is different.
well, hear me out. I'm just being honest. Just me as a person.
Two consenting adults is
I'm-
different.
Yeah,
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
But
I agree
I'm
with
saying,
Andy.
as for me,
Mhm.
at any time, I was a very affectionate person.
Okay.
I'm also a very straight heterosexual man, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you, whatever your preference is, I'm not
There
judging.
is something wrong.
There's nothing wrong with being straight. That's what you're
Nothing
saying.
wrong
I know what you're saying.
straight pride.
But if someone was like, "Hey, in my culture, we don't hug, we kiss," I would kiss a dude because I'm pretty
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, but
comfortable
that's-
enough in my sexuality that I'm not deeming it as something sexual.
Yeah, that's different though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but it
we're
is
not-
it
we're
is
not
two
involving a
different
child.
situations
Yeah.
because it
So
is
whoever
two
sees me, if you
consenting
want to kiss, I'll
adults.
do it with you. I'm not opening my mouth.
There you go.
Like we're not slit. Like it's COVID. I'm not.
I
doing
don't even
saliva.
like. I don't even like to be around people, so I'm the
Yeah.
complete opposite.
I get yelled at by Heidi all the time because can you please stop hugging people? I'm like, that's just, I don't know, I do it. And then I'm like, now I'm self-conscious about it. And then be like, yo, and then I do it like 100 times. Someone like, how come you don't give me a hug? I'm like, I don't know the rules anymore. My whole life
Just
is.
carry a can
That's
of
like-
Lysol, spray them down first, and then hug them.
like when everything started and like people were still going out and I was still like
I
playing
feel-
shows and whatnot, I would go out and I would be like, oh, are you hugging
I
for COVID?
feel-
Like I would get
I
so
feel it's
upset.
not even COVID related. If COVID never happened, I think just because we live in this society where everyone deems everyone as a fucking predator or a creep, that I'm even comfortable giving people a hug because I'm like, oh, I don't know if you think I'm being creepy because I'm a married guy and I'm a guy hugging a girl who's not my wife and people think differently. Like,
That's why you just always ask.
and then I like
Yeah.
fist bump, and then I feel like I'm being like, I don't like you that much. And then I see someone who I'm comfortable with, and I'm like, oh my God, Tori. And
Well,
we give a
it
hug.
depends, what the person is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why like if
And then
it's
that-
somebody I've never met, I'm just like, hey, like, do you hug? Are you a hugger? That's what I.
Yeah, I
always
don't do
say.
that because I'm a guy. That doesn't work for me.
What? Of course it
I
would.
can't walk
Like,
up to a
"You
girl and be like,
hugger?"
are you a hugger? You want to hug me? I'm a fucking fat dude.
But if I introduced you to somebody that I never met, I was like, oh, this is Tony, and you'd be like, hey,
I
are
would
you a
fist
hugger?
bump.
Sure,
I would fist
that's
bump.
a little different though. But Tony going up to a random girl and be like, "Are you a hugger?"
Yeah.
Probably at a bar.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't lead with that. You
I
wouldn't
would.
lead
But
with
Tony would.
Because that's how I
Yeah.
lead. That's how I lead
You
interaction.
just lead like you just see a random girl and be like,
I lead interaction with, like, if someone says like, hey, this is Nikolai. I never met Nikolai. Well, he's a dude, so I would do the handshake, pull, and hug, and then people.
why wouldn't you do that with a girl? Why wouldn't
Equal
you do that with a
rights.
girl?
I honestly do
I'm
because
kidding.
because it's not chest on chest. I'm being honest. I'm being completely honest.
Why wouldn't you chest bump a girl?
Because you got titties,
That's
and I don't want to be
sexist.
weird because girls are like.
Why is
"He
it gotta
just-
be about the
You're
tits?
basically Tom Brady by
he
saying
just,
that.
Yeah.
Kidding.
I'll 3-second kiss you on the
You're
lips right now.
basically
Yeah, I'm
Tom
not
Brady.
kissing.
Heidi, no, Heidi.
Yeah, no, but like,
I'm gonna kiss you. You ain't gonna like.
and I'm gonna say, if you want to check your fantasy football team, you better kiss me 3 seconds longer. Anyway,
God.
And then somebody in the background has to be like, Jack, that's how you get. That's how you get
Yeah.
ahead.
That ain't no kiss.
but realistically, if we were in a room, right,
That is creepy deep voice.
Yeah.
Come here, boy.
Now let me massage that.
I think you guys are
Your
embellishing
thighs
his
there.
voice a little bit.
Hey, I didn't see
He's
it.
a creep, so he can have a creepy voice.
So
That's what I have to say.
if we all like, I know everyone in this room, but I don't know Nikolai, right? So I walk up and I'm like, Tori, and you're like, Tony, and we hug, and I'm like, Andy, and we hug, and then I'm like, Bree, we hug, and I'm like, I don't know you. Here's a fist bump, and he's like, what the fuck, bro? And then I'm like,
Or you could be just a normal human being and be like, this is the first time I'm meeting this person. Maybe the next time he'll give me a
Yeah,
hug.
but
or maybe
it's
I
not.
could-
It's not. Subconsciously, you're like, why the fuck didn't he hug me? I'm not good enough.
thank you.
I know. I think
That's-
that,
yeah, that's-
I'm sorry. It
depends on the person.
Real, that's,
Yeah.
that's,
You wanna
that's
talk
some
about-
I'm not
super
saying
insecure.
that's
Do you want
not
to
my
talk about real life
reaction,
anxiety? That's
but-
my
Go.
life. That's my fucking life. A hug fucking spirals
Jeez.
me.
You know how that can
Aw.
solve that? By going, are you a hugger? I give hugs
Exactly.
all the
Oh, I
time.
just
Do you want to
stopped-
give a
I
hug?
stopped hugging people.
Huh?
Unless-
Well,
Don't ruin your life. That's fine.
Yeah.
Stop.
Unless I truly like I went and got a tattoo, like Amber,
Mhm.
and I know she's uncomfortable with hugs. She doesn't like people hugging her. And then I was like, oh my god, do I stop? And then I went to leave, and she's like, oh, I don't get a hug goodbye. And I was like, oh okay. Like, you know
Well,
what I
there
mean? Like,
you go.
but like in my head, I'm fucking spiraling.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell
I
you.
agree with Tori. You usually just ask people, are you
Yeah.
a hugger or not?
I
Because I'm
fist
not a
bump.
hugger.
I
So
fist bump. I-
Yeah, but in the moment,
I
if
prefer
it's just
people
happening
asking.
around you,
Yeah, dude.
and it's just like,
especially if I
you're
have a few
going
of these in me,
right.
I'm a fucking hug her even harder. I'm like, I fucking love you.
It's like
But you're
Michael
the
Scott's
one
like, I'm gonna
person
hug
left
her
out
even
of the
harder.
happiness.
I'm gonna fucking,
I understand.
I'm sorry I annoyed you with my friendship.
I think it's good to ask people what their
This
boundaries
is the
are.
Yeah.
weirdest truth behind a loser of all
Yeah, why
time.
the
Yes.
fuck not? Why the fuck not? You already talked about vampires. Let's
We're
talk about
we're opening up.
pedophiles.
We're opening up and learn. This is not pedophilia if it's
I,
talking about hugging.
I laughed after it. It
All
was
right.
a joke.
Tom Brady's on the pedophile.
You know, we don't know that.
But he's a weirdo.
He's a
weirdo.
creep. He's a
Anybody
weirdo
can,
creep, and I
anybody
hate
can be a
him.
creep and a pedophile, and you wouldn't know it until
That's
you
very
actually
true.
figure that out.
You're right.
Yes.
They a lot
I
of
don't
them
trust
hide.
anybody that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What if you do know them?
DTA, don't trust
I don't
anybody.
trust anybody.
Remember? Don't fool. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust them. DTA.
Don't trust anybody.
Goddamn.
So, come down here, flapping your gums. I
Yeah.
can't even. I'm way too
You
many.
gotta drink a couple more stabilizers.
Yeah, these deep
So-
voices are coming out of
So,
nowhere.
would you
today.
be a vampire if you could? If they were real, would you be one? Considering all the powers you get, but then
Oh, because
the
so many
terrible
people
powers you
trust me to hug them, I'd be like, oh my god.
Then
That's how you
people
get
would really
them.
be
get. But
starting
that's
to talk.
that's still an assault.
Yeah.
If
Not if
vampires
they
are
don't
real,
find out.
Not if you're a vampire.
no, in real life, in my scenario, vampires are real, but you have to obey by the laws. If you want to go feed, you have to find someone that you or have a pact with,
don't think
or
it'd
you
be-
have to just assault them.
I don't think. All right. So now,
Or feed
Or
on
you
the
do it in
livestock.
secret, where you're
Feed
busting
on
do I
the
look
someone's
like
bedroom.
me, but I'm more attractive as a vampire?
No, you're just a vampire.
Yeah, I would
It's,
not.
it's you, but you have
No one's letting me feed.
you have the,
Like,
the
you're
super
fat.
strength.
You're fat, bro. You know how much blood you're gonna need.
God.
Like, am I looking like Twilight, but with my face
No,
with that? Here's a nice body.
Honestly, I see if you were in his world, if you were a vampire, I wouldn't let you feed from me, but I would let you. I would have somebody take my blood, and I would.
And drink it in a cup. There you go.
I would let you put it in a sippy cup.
a lot of blood.
I would give you a juice box of my own blood.
They're like, bro, you are a 500-pound vampire. You fat fuck. You are.
You need a lot of blood.
I can't facilitate you. And I'm looking for other fat people. Hey, honey. Hey, dude, you're also 600 pounds. I obviously need a lot here.
That's why they have animals that you could also feed
I
off
can't
of.
feed off
You
Nikolai.
could, yeah. You could drink off a cow.
Like they did in Twilight.
We need to make a fat vampire show.
I'm gonna fucking.
I'm sure there's a fat vampire somewhere.
There has to be. Yes.
Maybe
They're
he's
not-
eating fatty blood.
Dude, every
Yes,
vampire
fatty
is fucking
blood.
six-pack abs.
Or they have like fatty fatty organs.
There has to be a fat vampire.
They're not all
Somebody
perfect and beautiful.
Someone Google
Google fat vampire.
Because we're all unique, and our uniqueness should be respected. Love yourself,
I would
everybody.
give
Oh, I love myself, but if I'm a vampire and I approach you, Brie, you're gonna be like, "Can I get someone who probably doesn't have as big of an appetite?"
Can I get a little bit?
I would actually not allow anybody to feed off me because I don't like getting blood taken.
Oh.
Neither do I.
that's-
I would give you a juice box of my own blood.
Well, this ain't
Because it
would you give
scares
your
me.
blood. This is would you take someone's blood.
Yeah.
I would totally be a vampire because then
I
I'd be
would.
immortal and I get all the
Yeah.
powers.
And
I mean-
realistically, if I
wouldn't wanna
if
see
I had
everybody
the
I love
superpowers
die.
of a super vampire have,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest. If a lot of it wouldn't be by consent, I'm a fat vampire.
Well, that's
like, I would
okay.
just be like, all right, I'm gonna break the law tonight.
Well, you go and you go out to the farm and you get someone that doesn't. Who they got?
just like a street hooker.
You
Yeah.
could just
Yeah.
you could mutilate a cow and then blame
Yeah.
it
I
on
would
the
be the
aliens.
MK Ultra of vampires, where I just find I'd find people who don't have families.
Well, then if you didn't feed though, you would lose weight, and then you would get.
But then you die.
Yeah, but then you would. You'd have
You
to
would die,
feed eventually.
yeah. You would die.
I obviously don't have portion control. In
I
my
guess
life.
that's why there is no fat vampires, because if it is, you would have to drink blood constantly or a
Oh,
lot.
good point. Yeah. No,
That's very
yeah.
true.
There
Let me
we go.
I had something pulled up here. All right, so real quick.
Oh my!
Beer burp. All right, so
Burp.
Bram
Robin.
Stoker's vampires. Here is their powers/skills: superhuman strength,
Mhm.
superhuman speed, shape-shifting, size shifting, passing through small
Whoa,
cracks.
side shifting?
What's this?
size
What is,
What
shifting.
does that mean?
oh,
I
they
can be
can get
taller?
big or small?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I'm a vampire. Totally.
Yeah.
Take it.
You're like, I'm gonna.
I'm 6'10".
I was gonna say I
It's
want
like
to
huge.
view history, but if I can get taller, give it to me.
Yeah, mesmerizing influence.
Yes.
Psychic controls of his thralls.
Mm-hmm.
Amconesis, which is weather control. Did not
Ooh,
know that. Bram Stoker-
Storm. Oh, I could.
Wow.
be
Bram
Maybe
Stoker's
that's
storm.
why it's
va-
always stormy and
Yeah, Bram Stoker can set
there's
up
no
Storm.
sun.
Oh,
his vampires. can set up-
Amconesis?
Actually, they kind of touch into that on Dracula Untold.
I just
Really?
love
Yeah.
It's a
storm.
thunderstorm. Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Aerokinesis. They have the power of aerokinesis, which is control of air and wind.
Mm-hmm.
Command over feral beasts, so they can control animals.
Mm.
Interesting.
Complete night vision, can crawl
Of
on
course.
walls. Mastery of alchemy, mastery of dark magic, mastery of necromancy, immense yet somehow brittled intelligence, or bridled intelligence,
Bridled. Okay.
and considered considerably wealthy.
And immortal. As long as you keep eating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would then be a vampire with those powers, but I would not eat.
That's a
off of
great power
people.
set.
I would do animals.
What if it doesn't taste the same?
They're the vegan.
Oh well,
vampire.
What
I
if-
would be a vegan vampire. Yeah.
Or synthetic,
Vegan
like in Blade.
vampire.
Synthetic
There's a
blood.
there's a
You say
Yes,
that.
like
show
You
in
say
there.
that, but like, would you eat like baby food the rest of your life? Like, if you had food,
Yes.
right? If you had food and it tasted fucking awful, like literally, it tastes like you're eating dog shit every time you ate. Would you continue to eat it?
I would not know what human blood tasted because I'd be a
But I'm
vegan
saying-
vampire.
So I'm saying if
yes.
you're a vampire, right?
Yeah.
And human blood tasted like the great, like you're like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
It's your favorite thing. in
It
the
is
world.
your absolute favorite thing. But anything else besides human blood tastes like you are drinking battery acid. Like it's almost
awful,
intolerable
yeah.
to drink.
Wow.
Would your moral like I'm just saying most vampires would lose that moral compass. You're
Yeah,
like,
they
why
would.
would
Yeah.
I would just off myself.
I wouldn't.
I would.
You're
I-
fucking
I couldn't do it.
I would
You're
just
saying
be
that now as
vegan.
a- you're saying
I would
that now as a
literally
human.
be vegan.
now if you're a human and everything you ate tasted
How do you know I'm human?
awful.
Yeah.
All right, if in general, if anything you
In this
consumed
scenario.
was awful,
All right.
I just think in any
Vegan.
being, no matter
Like,
what
like
being
in
you were,
Underworld, when he becomes a vampire, he tries to eat and he throws it up because he just can't keep it down.
because it tastes. He's trying
Yeah.
to do the moral
Yeah.
right thing, but it's like this is unbearable for me.
And they
my
do that with-
my life.
I
sucks.
would do it. Fuck me.
Yeah,
I,
like-
I every day I say, hey, people.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, come in this alley.
Yeah.
You pull like a Dexter on them.
Yeah.
You like find the
That's
bad
it.
people and eat them.
exactly. Yeah,
Well, you could do that too.
No,
yeah.
low life because I hate
Troy
life.
I would-
Aikman's the
I
first
would
one.
eat
Every Dallas
pedophiles.
cat. I would.
Yeah,
eat,
see?
I would.
I would kill and eat pedophiles.
Oh, then I would maybe.
I would kill
I'd
and eat
join
Tom
you.
Brady.
Oh, I'm joining you.
I would eat every Dallas
just-
Cowboy.
What? We're gonna fight in the vampire world. I'm gonna come after your Washington
See?
football team.
Yeah, but he'd be stronger
God.
because he drinks human blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know which blood is like stronger.
And-
You actually don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
would you be
True.
weaker? Yeah.
We don't know in this scenario.
If
Yeah.
you'd be weaker from synthetic blood, though.
And also because trigger warning, Brie. I'm a man.
Not my man. I'm a
my
man. Let
God.
me tell you some things.
you picked the wrong people to say that.
Oh my God. We'll see about that, Tony. I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you who's stronger,
Once
buddy.
the camera
have
goes
been here
off, we're
too.
just gonna back up, and Bree and Tony are just gonna.
Yeah.
And I will win, so
Bree will
everybody
win.
knows.
because Tony will be laughing too hard.
I would. Because I'd be like, I got them to the point they're attacking me, and I'd be laughing. All right. Anyway, I did that with Heidi once. We were like sparring with UFC gloves.
Punch her in the face.
I was in the forehead. Like I was just like every time she came in, I would just jab her in the forehead, and she's like, and then she fucking hulked out and shot a double on me. But her face she made when she was frustrated, she couldn't break my guard. She fucking like.
She goes and trains for like 2 years and comes back. Hey, let's do that again.
She fucking
Knocks it right out.
She shot
Remember
in.
that time we sparred?
This literally happened. She shot in, took a double on me, but the whole like her face she made when she was like like in a real fight, like she literally dropped her guard, like she not even defending herself. She just fucking turned into like
She's so
Bam Bam from the like. And
Bam.
she just charged me, and her face she made, I start losing it. She doubled, and this is like 13 minutes before because we used to have huge UFC parties here. Like this house would be filled. Like you were here for a few of them. This house would be filled with people and people would be watching like pay-per-views. And this is literally like 3 minutes before people showed up. So like people are walking in the door, and Heidi has me in full mount, and she's punching me in the
People are
head.
just about like, hi guys.
And I'm crying, laughing, like,
Someone's like, well, I'm still going to watch it. So it's
yeah.
over here.
He's like, oh, word.
And I mean, if they knew you guys, then it'd just be like, hey guys.
Oh, it's so. I don't remember who walked in first, but it was definitely a funny experience. And she's like, "Oh, hi!" And she turned back into Heidi. I was like, "She's beating me. You've seen it." Yeah. Tori, what do you got to plug?
I do tarot readings. I also do the logos and stuff, and I also have my webinar that's officially out now, the Starseed Crash Course. So,
And we may have some new stuff coming,
And how can someone find that?
Wait,
they can just message me on Facebook.
Oh, okay, you send them.
or the
Yeah.
links below
Open DMs.
will take you to her tarot and her Bewitched Clover page.
Yeah, La Zingara Intuitive Tarot
I'm
on
glad you said it
Facebook.
because I couldn't. I'm
La
terrible.
Zingara.
Yeah.
That is Italian for the gypsy.
Oh, that's cancel culture. You can't say gypsies no more.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm Sicilian. I don't give a shit. It's my heritage. Anyway, and also Bewitched and Clover Designs is my logo stuff.
Nikolai.
Be sure to keep an eye out on Not Cool in High School next week because we're going to have Ben from Fright
I'm
Rag
so excited for this.
coming on. I am too.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this with Ben for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a long time
so-
to make. So Ben is the owner and creator of Fright Rags, which is a huge company who makes horror movie and pop culture
And it's
t-shirts.
all licensed.
Yeah,
And it's all
cool.
officially licensed.
Yeah.
So this
That's
dude,
incredible. Holy
this dude
shit.
got to the point where he was making shirts that were not licensed, and he was then getting permission from studios because he's so good at what he does, and then commissioning very talented artists. Which I want to look into. Like who is it? Did he have one go-to artist?
No, there's a whole bunch of them. Like
Yeah.
the one that he did the host for. I think his first name's Neil. We're actually Instagram. We like follow each other now.
Like I would
because of
love
that.
to be a Fright Rags level t-shirt company, but also get the podcast to a popular level where people are like, "Oh, your podcast has the best game design in the world, and you're our go-to like that would be fun for me. Like,
That would be cool.
you know what I mean? And that's what this guy has, except he has hundreds of artists that does it for him. But
Yeah.
Super
his
cool.
clothing is. You're actually. I mean,
I am.
if you've been following the podcast a while, where our big thing is our t-shirts, because I'm obsessed with t-shirts, and you become and everyone else like. You find like-minded people to collaborate with, and everyone's obsessed with either there's some type of fashion.
Ben is as well.
Yeah.
I think he has every T-shirt that he's ever had.
Wow.
In
I-
bins.
Holy shit.
Like
Good for
if
him.
you go to the Fright Rag
I wish
Instagram
I-
page, you can watch him unbox totes and be like, "I got this one on this trip."
I'm not
or
gonna-
this
mean like
and
Tony?
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. If I
So-
had a t-shirt a t-shirt, like I wish I had a t-shirt for every single person. Like eventually, I'll get to the point where I will own.
When you have your mansion, you have your T-shirt walk-in closet.
So
nice.
I'm getting rid of a bunch of t-shirts, which is a big deal for me. I just can't have every single.
What are you
person-
gonna do with 1,000 T-shirts?
Yeah, and a lot of t-shirts mean a lot to me because they're old school Batman ones and stuff. But the problem is I just can't give them away because people are like, "Oh, I'll come and get them," and then they never show up.
Yeah.
But I would love to get to the point where it's like, oh, this is like the original Not Cool. This is the original. This is the Tory one. Like I would have a shirt of all of yous, but obviously right now, like it's not like I get a box made because I'm buying it with my own money. We go through a third party website. But yeah, I'm a t-shirt guy. I don't know. I think t-shirts. When I was a kid who got picked on because of my clothes, I always at least had a cool t-shirt that people would like not look at my jeans or what kind of shoes I was wearing because I wasn't wearing designer. Like, oh, you're wearing a cool fucking South Park shirt or a wrestling shirt. And that conversation would get them off of my Kmart jeans and my Walmart shoes. And they're like, oh, and then I wouldn't get picked on for 30 minutes. And then they'd be like, bro, you're wearing fucking bullshit shoes. I'm wearing, and I'm like, oh, here's the
so dumb, you know.
It's dumb, but that's what
That's how it was. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was my life for a long. So t-shirts for me are a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've always been. And me as a person, I will walk up and be like, "Oh my god, I love your shirt!" Like, where's your shirt from? And I would spark a conversation of where you got it or how you got it. And so Fright Rags is a big deal. I'm
They
excited
are.
for it. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like 97% of the episodes I've ever done in any of these shows have been a Fright Rag shirt.
yeah,
Wow,
I,
cool.
I would say
Yeah.
I have a lot.
I like cavity colors. They're like a rival, so
yeah,
I won't mention on the show.
or horror horror merch is another
Yeah,
one
yeah.
as well. Yeah. But the I have a lot of Fright Rag shirts.
I think so. Actually,
they're pricey.
I counted them, but they do great deals.
Yeah, they
though.
are.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you; they do great deals every now and again. Like for 4th of July, end of year sale stuff. A bunch of them are like $10. They do mystery shirts
Yeah.
and stuff.
But you have to think too. They're also small organizations.
Yeah.
Who are getting officially licensed products, which
Right.
probably
Yes,
cost them
yeah.
money to get those
Right.
licenses.
So
they're doing
and I
it
mean,
legitimately.
let's say you go to a concert or whatever. What is that shirt going to
Yeah,
cost?
Oh,
$30.
25 bucks or
concert shirts
whatever.
are like
very
30.
expensive.
30, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're really not that bad
Yeah.
when it comes to price.
The shipping's a little high, but once again,
Sure.
he's not a big name company.
Right.
Like, I mean, he is, but he's,
He's not
at the level.
WWE shipping.
He's not at the level
Yeah.
where he can give free shipping.
Yeah.
All the
Mhm.
time. You know. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. It's gonna be fun. I have
Yeah.
a lot of questions and
They also have pajama pants. Or
They
lounge
do.
pants.
They have
And it's not
hats
just
and
horror, it's
pins
pop
and stuff.
culture.
Yeah.
like the shirt
He's
Heidi
branching
just,
out a little bit.
Yeah, the shirt Heidi just ordered for me because she's like, "Oh, you're doing a Fright Rag thing?" She goes, "You want me to get your Fright Rag shirt?" And I was like,
Aw,
"Do I
sweet.
want you to buy me a
she's
shirt?"
so cute.
Yes, please.
We love Heidi.
And she's probably gonna steal my shirt that night. The one that so there's a Fright Rag shirt in this house that I had to hide because Heidi fucking steals it. And then I kind of told her where it is, so it's probably gonna be her. Like
She's wearing it right now.
she probably is. There's a shirt that like it's I love Dawn of the Dead, and and because I showed her Dawn of the Dead, she became a Dawn of the Dead fan, and then Fright Rags made this awesome movie poster red T-shirt, and I never get to wear it because it becomes her home from work, throw it on and walk around the house
boy.
shirt, and I'm like, I want to fucking wear my shirt, and she like stole it. So I'm gonna petition Ben to bring back Dawn of the Dead because I need my own shirt, and I'll order the same size because obviously she doesn't go out in public with it. She does her house shirt, you know.
Well, he very well might since they're doing the George Romero
Yes,
style shirt. So,
just so much cool
Possible,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
but I ordered the They Live shirt, the Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah, I
They
seen they
Live.
have.
I ordered that one. Yeah, but I'm pumped. It's gonna be fun, and thank you so much for setting that up, man.
no
That was-
problem. So, I did count them. I think it was like last October. I have enough Fright Rag shirts to last over a month.
Well, so you can do that for all of
Every
October.
day. Yeah, that's what I did last year. I was like, every day I wore a Fright Rag shirt.
I have enough. Well, I don't. Obviously, I'm not wearing a wrestling shirt today, but if I think I have enough every day. But I'm just wearing them at work. That's my new. I dialed back my wrestling shirts to just work, and then when I'm on the show, if I wear a wrestling shirt, cool. But like, I have so many beer shirts and stuff that I buy to support people. Like, I bought the Kryptonite one. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear a wrestling one today because I want to support Kryptonite. So I bought 2 Kryptonite shirts because I have a problem.
But they were $13 though.
Yeah,
So.
Teespring. That's the thing with
Yeah.
Teespring, man. It's a $13 shirt, and the shirt
Yeah.
quality is beautiful.
Because anyway, for 13, maybe I'll buy 2. You know, maybe we can get 3 because
Yep.
you're used to spending a certain $30, and
Yep.
that's how it works.
Absolutely, yeah, it's good stuff. So, yeah, we'll definitely have some new stuff on. And I like the way Teespring, TeePublic sets it up, where it's just like the logo is there, and then you click on it, and on the side is like, do you want it in a hoodie?
Yeah, would you like mug or what coasters?
Yeah, and instead of taking like the Teespring route, where it's like the whole merch page is filled with every single item it's on. So like, and the cool thing with TeePublic or the other one is like, if you want a tri-blend shirt, do you want this style shirt? Do you want a premium shirt? You click on T-shirts, and then you can pick in a drag down
Yeah.
menu what different
And then
style
all
you
the
want.
colors are right there too. If they offer
Where the
colors,
other
that
one is
shirt.
like, here's the quality, here's this one. Like
Yeah.
it makes 3 different things on your screen
They
per
condensed
logo.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
The
condenses.
only thing I will say, if you're going to buy from the new site, know what you're buying ahead of time because there is a timer on your cart and it's only like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
they don't let you sit in your cart with it, and then they'll send you emails like, "Hey, you kind of left us in your cart. Like, what do you want to do here?" Which is kind of good for a small business like us, where it's kind of like it reminds people like, "Hey, you still want this?" You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
Oh no! Well, in that 10-minute time, like if that runs out, it goes.
Yeah,
So it's like why?
yeah,
But that's for the new one, not Teespring.
yeah. It's for
TeePublic.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
TeePublic. Yeah.
Anthony, Anthony, Andy.
Anthony.
Sorry, I have to pee so bad.
Scott, you could have won.
What do you got to
We
plug?
could hold down the fort. Well, we're covering everything
We're
here.
gonna talk
the
about how-
podcast. Yeah,
how,
we didn't talk about tornado tag. So if you like wrestling, there's that.
Last episode was fun. The
Yeah, it
Royal
was.
Rumble
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
It was a good time.
Outbreak Wrestling's got to start back up. So new episodes will come at the end of February.
Yeah.
So there we
Nice.
go.
Exciting.
Outbreak Wrestling on YouTube. I was gonna say Facebook. Yeah,
Are
I know
they-
Facebook.
are
It's
they
on
still-
YouTube.
Are they still holding off the title picture?
I don't know what's gonna happen now. I think they gotta.
They went away for crowds.
Well, no, I think they're gonna put the belt on somebody because they have to. It's been almost a year.
Do you know any? Do you know?
No, I don't. I know no inside
So
information.
realistically, for Outbreak Wrestling, Andy was the number one contender. So Andy's going for the first ever Outbreak championship for the second. He'd be the first 2-time champion in the company's history because the
Yay.
company rebranded. The guy who owned the belt was a pretty big deal. He wrestled in Lucha Underground. He wrestled in GSW.
Yeah.
Like, he's wrestled everywhere.
Cortez Castro.
But
Ricky
he,
Reyes.
Cortez Castro.
Yeah,
Eddie
it
Reyes.
was supposed to be in what would have been last March or last April.
Yeah.
That's when it would have been.
And then
That
right
is
before
exciting.
right as he won the number one contendership, COVID happened.
hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awful.
And also at the same time that was happening, you were also wrestling for the TV championship in Hazleton for
Yeah.
PPW.
I
So
kind of want a match to get be a contender and then win the match.
yeah, so he would have
Two
wrestled.
belt Andy.
he-
Like
he-
two belt Becky.
Yeah, so Andy's hard work in the local scene was starting to pay off because people were realizing that he's easy to work with. He'll do anything that he's asked for in the company. He's a
Not degenerate.
but I mean, the thing is with like
I heard he
this
sucks.
this isn't a bad thing, but Andy lets his work speak for himself. He doesn't go out and say, "Hey, I've been doing this for as many years.
Yeah.
I have this knowledge." Like he doesn't.
I don't politic.
He doesn't politic. He just lets his work speak, and sometimes that hinders him because the guy who is politicking and putting himself out there will become higher than him, and he's been doing it 10 times longer. And he's good. He's good at what he does. He's very entertaining. So it was the point where in 2020 he had an opportunity to be a champion in 2 different companies that he's been working for a very, very long time, and so it was exciting. But now that you said the Outbreak is coming back and they're still figuring out the title picture, I was just wondering if you're still in that picture.
Yeah.
Because the guy he was wrestling for the championship got a big time job becoming like a school's instructor for a school far away.
Yeah, he didn't want to wrestle because he wasn't wrestling because we were taping shows, and he didn't want to do that because he really had the 3 months off or whatever for in lockdown and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't comfortable. And then he got the gig, training people. So I don't know.
And he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see him in public, you're like, what a fucking dickhead. But he plays his character.
And they would have, got the belt back. He would have gave it back, and so I think they will get the belt back and crown champion. They do have another title now that I forget what it's called. The other title.
Intimidator title.
No, they have that one. They have the new one. They have the tournament for.
The Bad Street?
No, it was a singles title.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's like young lion something. I forget. Anyway, Outbreak Wrestling is going to come back on YouTube.
we'll talk
It's
about
Outbreak
this in
Wrestling.
Tornado Tag. Yeah. Bree.
That's awesome.
Not cool in high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same cast. Like I said, next week's episode will be Fright Rags, and then our bonus content will be Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be awful.
I love it.
Heidi
I
said-
love it.
We have no access to it. Except
Yeah,
you
that-
have a DVD, and
I
apparently
have
it's
a
not on any streaming device.
We may have
Yes.
to have like a watch party.
Ugh.
I'm not looking forward to it either. I'm sorry. Bree.
Oh, it's like my favorite.
All I
Besides
gotta
Star
say is
Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Next time, let's all agree upon the movie.
Yeah.
So,
We give everyone a chance to bring what they're into to the table, and this is Breeze.
so Tony said he
I will
wanted
never
to
make
be
you
challenged.
watch a
So I
movie.
challenged everybody.
Yeah.
I will watch.
If someone says I do not like that, I will not make you watch it. Like I wouldn't say let's watch UHF if you hate Weird Al.
I feel the trigger coming off Bree here.
Wait, what?
She's staring at Andy
Yeah.
like.
No, wait, what? No, I was listening.
No, I would literally watch anything someone presents.
Oh, see, I will not make you watch something.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be like. I'm just shitting on Pride and Prejudice because it's supposed to be like this big.
Yeah.
I may watch it. And
It's
like
a very beautiful story.
It really is. It's such,
I'm a guy.
such a
I'm probably
lovely
gay.
So it's the
story.
Bible.
God.
So
Are
filled
you
with
saying
death.
that all guys hate Pride and Prejudice? What are you saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying that you girls are very sensitive and you're probably like it, and we're more hardened.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, we are.
Are
You got to do voice
Wow.
vocal fry. Where you go, ah,
Wow.
fry at the
Me
end.
God.
All I got to plug is I want to thank the Patreon people real quick. We should have did this in the beginning, but I
That's okay.
apologize. PA Palajaver Podcast, they're subscribed to us. High Wraith, in
Yes.
Other Words, Podcast is subscribed to us.
Thank you, Tim.
They get their shout out. Jay, I'm not going to put your last name because you didn't put it in there. So we're just going to say, Jay, thank you for the
Jay.
donation. Austin Blackwell. So whatever you put in your description of who you are is what we're going to plug.
Yeah, so if you put Old McDonald's, that's what we'll say.
If
That's
you
right.
put, as long as it's not going to get it kicked off, off the internet, I
If you want
will.
to put a number, we'll read a number.
Jennifer Myers, thank you for the
Thank you,
donation. Thank you, Keith Skater. So they're our Patreon people.
wow.
We have
Keith.
6 people on
That's
Patreon.
awesome.
Woo.
My
Thank
goal is
you.
to hit at least 10. Now we have a thing where you can just do $1.
Mhm.
If 100 people donate $1,
That's awesome.
that's
yeah.
That's
huge,
$100.
It's $100, and then after Patreon takes it, we get
I was saying, okay.
13.
Yeah.
No, but thank you guys so much for this. The fact that we kicked this Patreon idea around for almost 3 years and said there's no way one person's going to subscribe,
And it happened
now
in
we
like
have
an hour.
now we have 6.
Yeah, we
in
had
less
one in
than-
like an hour.
Yeah, it's cool, and the fact that we have not one but 2 merch pages that people are supporting, it's fun. So
Yeah.
we sit here as friends and just have these conversations regardless, and the fact that people want to listen to them blows my mind.
I love it.
Yeah, I did not think this episode would be a 2-hour episode. But here's the thing too. The next time you hear this episode, it's probably going to be another month. So if you're into Not Cool in high school, you have an entire month to check the episode out before that. The way it works is I think one show gets 2 episodes every month. I think this month was TBI, so I think we got 2 this month.
Ooh.
So next month you're only getting 1, so you have plenty of time to catch up and check out back catalog. We're no longer a weekly show, so the number count on the episodes won't grow as high as fast, but it gives us more time to prep and game plan and get ready and have fun. And it's been a blast, man. We're excited for a brand new year and more beers because I am pretty deep in. I'll see you guys next time. This is the Casket Company with their song "The Mothman Emerges." We'll see you next time if I can get the buttons to work here. I can't see. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.
Bye.
Click.
Click, click.
Is this still on?
It's still running.
Bye.